Good evening, one and all, and welcome to episode 3, the penultimate episode of our 4-part Witcher RPG series. I am your GM, Emily Rose Jacobson, and tonight we have a very, very exciting show for you all, don't we? Yes, we do. So yes, there are going to be, thank you first to everyone who participated in this weekend's Hyperdrive. Thanks for helping us hit our goal super early. What we do here at Hyper, we cannot do without your amazing support. So thank you so much for supporting us in the Hyperdrive. And thanks for your support across social media, talking about the show, enjoying the show. We all have such a blast up here playing these characters and diving into the dark fantasy world of The Witcher. And we can't do it without all of the amazing people like you. So thank you. So with that, there are ways that you can participate in tonight's show. So if you go to oneshot.straylogic.com, you'll see a number of ways you can participate. For $15, you can tag with hashtag coin. You can toss a coin to your Witcher, of course, which grants us a reroll in the reroll pile. Now, for those of you who may have missed last week's episode, we left on a very epic cliffhanger. After a terrifying fight against 4 ghouls, our players have not had a moment's rest before a werewolf is now hot on their trail. So what will happen tonight? We shall see. But ultimately, you can help maybe turn the tides for our players a bit. And one way you can do that is with rerolls. So that is at hashtag coin at $15. Then at $25, we have hashtag alchemy, which will grant, you tell me which character you want a potion to go towards. I will roll a die to see which skill they get a +3 bonus to. And then they get to use that +3 bonus on whenever they next use that skill. So let it be dexterity, willpower, you name it. That is also another way you can possibly help some of our players, is give them plenty of all potions to give them some buffs during battle. And that is at hashtag alchemy at $25. Then at $50, we have hashtag tales. So these are flashbacks that we'll get to see of our character. Perhaps in a moment they flash back to a time in their life where they learned a lesson that can help them during this moment, or just something about this moment sparks a memory of love, a memory of loss. We shall see, but you can help trigger those with hashtag tales at $50. Then at $75, if you think that after 4 ghouls, a werewolf is not enough, you can tip hashtag monster at $75 and give another, and I will roll a D10 from my monster book.
Why would you do that?
Chapter
That's horrible.
No, thank you.
The Witcher, the Talosorian Games Witcher RPG book. I'll roll a D10 and we'll see what new monster, or perhaps maybe it's another werewolf, that our players will have to fight against. And that is at $75 with hashtag monster. And of course, at $100, we have hashtag law, the law of surprise, where you get to tell me which 2 characters you want to create a bond, or perhaps one character owes a debt to another character, or perhaps another character is paying them something in full. You get to determine those relationships, and we'll see what comes out of them with hashtag law at $100. And of course, with these bigger tiered incentives, feel free to build towards them as a chat. You don't have, no one person has to front $75 for a monster. That will surely torture our players. So yes, you can build together, my friends. And of course, if we hit our daily goal of $1,000, not only will we be giving away a signed copy of The Witcher RPG from our Talosorian Games, but if we've hit our goal the past 2 weeks in a row, if we hit our goal tonight and we hit our goal next week, then our Talosorian Games will give us the chance to give you the chance to name an NPC in the upcoming, I believe it is like next Witcher module for the RPG, which is so cool. You will get to have an NPC forever named, forever in time. And that is, of course, if we hit tonight's goal and next week's goal. We'll be giving that away in the chat on the final week. So let us get started and get building towards that. Now, before we get our game started, I'm going to go around the table and ask everybody where their health is at, and for our magic users, where their vigor is at. So, Marilka, let's start with you. Where is your health at?
I'm fine.
Wonderful.
I have taken 0 damage.
Oh. You were firing some very good shots this past episode.
Yeah, I hide in the back and I shoot from far away. That's my job, right?
That is your job. We'll
Thanks,
see.
Geralt.
Yennefer, how are you doing?
Oh, my vigor is at a 1.
Oh, so casting magic for you is definitely going to cost something. And then where is your health at? Because you took some damage last battle too.
I think it's at a 10.
That makes sense. All right,
Oh, this isn't going well.
Yennefer not looking so good. Yaskir, how are you doing health-wise?
I'm doing great. I'm at 30 actually.
Perfect.
Shocking.
Geralt,
I should hang on the back too.
The better part of valor.
I'm at 32.
wonderful. So you've taken like a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah.
And then Siri.
Health-wise, I am at 24 out of 30.
All right.
So not the worst.
Not the worst.
Could be worse. Could be better.
And where's your vigor at right now?
4.
At a 4. All right. So with that, players, are you ready?
No.
As ready as we're gonna be.
Never been readier.
Good.
I would argue that you have. With more health and vigor.
Let us now journey into episode 3 of The Witcher RPG. We open on a rainy afternoon in Temeria. The sky is a swirling scape of dark gray as thunder rumbles and roars over the trees. Standing in the wet woods are Geralt of Rivia, Witcher, his ward, Princess Cirilla, Marilka, rogue and archer from Blaviken, Yaskir, Geralt's friend, historian, and renowned bard, and Yennefer, one of the most powerful mages on the continent. Our 5 travelers stand beaten, exhausted from their last fight, as the corpses of 4 dead ghouls lay in the decrepit wet leaves and mud of the forest floor. But before they can take a breath of respite, a harrowing sound is heard through the trees. The nightmarish guttural call of a werewolf. In mere moments, our 5 travelers hear the sound of leaves and dirt being kicked up furiously by inhuman paws, as the heavy, hungry, labored breath of this werewolf seems to echo off the trees and surrounds them. It's coming. They just don't know from where.
It's a she-wolf.
I hear it.
It's a she-wolf. You said they weren't real.
We don't know that.
It's gotta be a
It's just a she-wolf. What is that?
I wouldn't trust
She's
Marilka.
just making up stuff. Is what
I'm
she's
going
doing.
to climb this tree to do some reconnaissance. I think.
What if it's coming from the tree?
It wasn't. Did you hit? Was it coming from the tree?
I don't know.
Yaskir, you'd like to
tree.
climb a tree?
I don't know. Maybe not. Actually.
Yeah, climb the tree. I'm curious.
No, it would have sounded closer. I'm climbing the tree.
Wonderful. Can you roll me 1d10 plus your, I'm going to say your physique. And if you don't have physique, it'll just be a straight body roll.
Hey.
I don't have physique. I have grooming and style, but not physique. Let's see. So it's 13. My 9 plus my body.
With a 13, yes, you successfully make your way quickly up this tree.
I'm motivated.
Yes,
to
you're-
do so.
Very motivated. And as you climb this tree, you finally are the first person to get eyes as you see this werewolf that is now charging immediately towards the direction of Marilka's back.
Marilka, incoming. Everyone
Which way?
else too.
Which way? What?
That way.
Do I see it?
we
or-
see- him
Marilka, you
point to
suddenly turn around, and from behind these thick trees, you suddenly see this like nightmarish, matted fur, terrifying figure of a werewolf.
Still wish this was silver.
The werewolf slows as it finds you, and you just hear its labored breath breathing harder and harder. You notice that it's wearing an assortment of torn clothes as its fur and enhanced limb strength and muscle tone is just piercing through this human form. This werewolf seems to just be staring at the dead ghouls in front of you and looking at you all for just a moment.
Did we ever ask what the mother's name was?
Yes?
Can we analyze that clothes that are on the werewolf?
You can, I would say you could try, but it seems to just be, there's no resemblance of a shirt. It just seems to be these grayish pants, but you cannot tell if they're gray from the mud and the wet of the rain, or if that was perhaps the material's natural color.
I'm not helpful. My notes just say Yennefer and Geralt are gross.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need you all to roll initiative for me.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
What do you add to your... What was the bonus that you had for
It
your
is your
initiative?
reflex.
Oh, it's
Alright.
reflex.
1d10 plus your reflex.
Oh, wow.
13.
Yeah.
It's
ooh.
exploding.
16
So-
for Marilka.
That's good.
16 plus 12, so
28.
Oh my god.
That seems right.
Yes, please, thank you.
I'm a 12.
Oh,
12.
wow. That's going to be an 8 for Yennefer.
Oh dear.
Rolling ones early.
Yeah, get him out. while you can.
Wonderful.
Right,
And I will
until we get
say,
those rerolls.
before we get this battle started, everybody received an alchemy. Everybody received a potion, so I will now just go down the line, and we're gonna roll for that
Thank
real
you.
fast.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Help.
much.
Thank you, chat.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let's see.
Going to need it.
Marilka,
Yeah.
you will get a +3 to your willpower.
Okay.
So that will be courage, intimidation, spellcasting, and resisting magic, and a lot. Yennefer, you get a +3. Apologies, I rolled a 5. A +3 to your body, which means anything having to do with your physique or endurance, you will receive a +3 on that roll.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yes, Gary, you will also get a +3 to your will, which is courage, intimidation, spellcasting if you need it.
How apropos.
Geralt, you receive a +3 to your crafting, which
Oh,
is
this is
first aid,
perfect.
Nice.
forgery, trap crafting, picking locks, alchemy, you name it.
That's perfect.
Heard that
That's
armor.
It's gonna be in handy for what I'm about to do.
Nice.
And Siri, you receive a +3 to your empathy. So your charisma, deceit, leadership, performance, you gambling, fine arts.
So I can lie to the werewolf.
Yes,
Wonderful.
you can try.
Just
see how that
convince it to
goes.
go away.
Right.
Yes.
Actually, these are not the adventurers you are looking for.
Wrong
This
property.
werewolf, finally, after almost a moment's notice, staring at the four ghouls, looking up at the four of you. Yaskir, you are in a tree, so the werewolf has not caught on to where exactly you are hidden yet.
Excellent.
You hear the werewolf's breath start to become more labored and labored as this saliva starts to drip from its maw through its teeth and onto, mixing with rain onto the ground below. As you see its back start to hunch like a wild animal, its head slowly crouching, preparing to launch at its prey. Geralt, you get to go first.
So you
What do
see
you want to do?
Geralt just try to recount his thoughts of he's dealt with werewolves before in the past, so trying to recount what is their weaknesses or what I can use to concoct to better aid ourselves in this battle. So is it possible to do an extra, like a roll to like cycle through my thoughts of knowledge on this werewolf to like figure out what its weakness would be, if I can concoct a certain potion?
Or an oil, perhaps,
Yes, an
for
oil.
your blade.
Yeah.
I will say yes, you can roll me your monster lore.
I like this one.
It's going to be a little difficult because you're right, as a battle is just
Of
beginning.
course. Oh, fuck.
No.
Any rerolls?
There
yet?
are 6 re-rolls right now.
Take
I'm going to
it.
use a reroll.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to use
God.
one last one.
All right.
I got a 2 and then a 1.
Oh, that's exploding. Good.
Oh,
Yes,
hey.
Geralt, there we go.
Technically, you went 2-1-0.
And that's a 9. So 19 plus, what was it, Monster Hunt build? Well,
Monster lore.
Monster lore.
Monster lore is 8. So 19 plus 8.
27.
27.
Yes, with a 27. Geralt, in fact, you focus, you're able to almost just disappear for a moment as your mind in this instance goes backwards and you retreat back into a moment of your past. For when you first hunted your first werewolf with your mentor, Vesemir.
Vesemir. Seems that we have to deal with this werewolf. Do you have any type of concoction that we can use against this werewolf?
Now, Geralt, I know that you are a young witcher.
I'm not that young.
You're still a young man, I should say. You have not passed 20 yet.
Okay, well, thank you, I guess. Old man.
Fine, you just I call you young. You call me old. I see. Listen,
Trade
Geralt.
for trade.
Geralt, when you're hunting a werewolf, tracking it. You never want it to catch you off your guard. That's the most important thing.
Of course.
These are terrifying and powerful beasts, not only because they are monstrous in form, but also because there is a part of them that is still human. And that aspect of humanity will fight back harder than any normal creature would.
But I've always been taught that if the coin is there and I need to kill this, then the coin wins.
Oh, I'm just saying it's very difficult. Because as humans, the human will is strong, Geralt. You know this.
Of course.
We all know this. And that human will in werewolf form will continue to push past limits until nothing remains. But there are ways that you can enhance yourself to take down a werewolf. You see Vesemir reach on his belt and he pulls out an oil. Now this, you've heard of all their oils and tonics. Now this, Geralt, is cursed oil. This type of oil
Cursed oil?
works on cursed beings. Werewolves, the like, vampires. What you will do is you'll coat your silver blade with cursed oil, and that will give you an advantage in the fight against those beings that are cursed.
Sounds good to me. Actually, have you seen my sword? I don't have them for some reason. I'm sorry, Vesemir.
Oh, young pup. You young, spry
You
witcher.
get that one.
You
get that one, I guess.
Yes, I will. Look, just here. He pulls out his steel sword and hands it to you. It's not going to do much, but just watch. Watch and learn. As you see, Vesemir pulls out a huge broadsword, silver sword, takes the oil, coats in a cloth, coats his blade, and starts to stalk in the shadows. And as you watch him, he disappears between the buildings of the town you're in as the moonlight shines on the path below as you hunt your first werewolf. That moment, as soon as you've seen Vesemir disappear into the shadows, we find, Geralt, your vision and your memories start to disappear back into the current time as you see this werewolf staring you, and in fact you, face down.
So for last thing, above game, I don't have my swords from the last session. I believe I threw them to the ghoul, 1-2 Marulka.
Steel one was me.
The steel one was
Yes,
Marulka.
it was with you, and then the
You
broad.
didn't have to throw it.
No,
You
you
didn't
just
have to,
have
you
you have the
charged
silver one
it.
in your hand.
You have one.
You have
Okay.
one sword. You have your silver
Oh,
sword.
okay.
You have the
okay.
silver sword.
Marilka has your... Marilka is in the vicinity
Your
of your
steel
steel
sword.
Right.
sword.
Okay. Cool. Trying to have
You
both of
have
them.
you have a sword.
All right. So what I'm going to do is stare at the wolf while do I actually have cursed oil or no in my possession?
Let me roll and see if you
Okay.
do.
Please say that you do.
Oh, that's not-
You
Please?
do.
Okay.
It would be
Oh,
tragic
thank
if
You find
did a
throughout
one
your
and
throughout your alchemy pocket, you see that you have necrophage oil. You have like a poison,
Okay.
and then yes, you do find the red vial of cursed oil.
All right. This always came in handy in the past. Thank you, Vesemir. As I start coating my sword with the oil. Listen, beast. Last chance. I know you can't probably understand what I'm saying, but I'm going to have to subdue you. And I want to like push it away with Ard. Just to
Ard.
push. Yeah. I
Have
believe
you-
that's Ard.
How many vigor points do you have?
I
Geralt?
believe I have 3 left.
3. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Even though you
Yeah.
hurt yourself pretty bad when you used it earlier. All
course.
right. So you would like to use Ard first.
Yes.
Roll me 1d10 plus your willpower to see if you can cast this spell.
Okay. It's 13.
A 13 will do it. How many vigor points would you like to use on this,
I
Geralt?
want to use 2.
2. So that will leave you with
1 left.
1 left. So roll me
Strong
2d6.
Let's finish it fast.
It's a 6 and a 2.
So with an 8, you wish to use Ard to push back the creature or to stagger it?
Both.
Both. With an 8, yes, Geralt, you're able to focus. Focus, and you find yourself feeling much more clear and sensing clarity than before when you tried to use your Witcher signs in the market earlier that day. As you focus and you send Ard, a Witcher sign, a blast of air towards the werewolf, causing it to stagger and knocking it off its feet. As you push it backwards, this will affect the werewolf on its next turn, and you just stand there afterwards, one hand out from casting a sign, the other hand brandishing your silver sword.
Baroka, Yennefer, Ciri, stay focused. Where is Yaskir?
trying my best.
Did I even notice Yaskir right up there? Where is Yaskir?
Where is he?
You can make yourself known, Yaskir, or you can keep
Yaskir.
hiding.
I'm up here in the tree.
I can hear him.
I will say yes. You can hear him.
Shh, don't look at me. Shh. They'll know I'm up here. Shh. I'll let you know if any more are coming.
So you pushed, Geralt, as you pushed the werewolf back. Luckily, it was not in a close vicinity of attack, and now instead it's going to have a running start and run to attack. So we'll have, I'm giving it a slight disadvantage on, its disadvantage rolls were not too disadvantagey. Marilka, this
Delightful.
This werewolf gets pushed back, staggers for a second, and then lays its sights on you, being its closest target, as it starts running and charging at you with its claws bearing. You're going to need to roll a very high number. What would you like to do? Would you like to dodge?
Yeah. Unless because if I'm shooting it, it's still coming at me.
Yes.
Gravity is a thing. Physics is hard. I'm just gonna try and get out of the way.
Roll me 1d10 plus your dodge, Marilka.
Okay. Oh. How many how many rerolls do we have?
We have 4 rerolls.
We need more rerolls.
Yes, let's use it.
Help. Oh my god.
Not they're still cursing you.
What did you do?
I rolled a 3 and then I rolled another 3.
Would you like to
double
use
threes.
one more reroll?
Sure would. And this dice can be over there now.
Let's
All right, if I die because there are no rerolls, Marilka
3 for
use them.
3.
3.
I rolled 3 threes, you guys.
Wow.
I'm gonna be a she-wolf. The first
That's-
she-wolf. You're already I don't have a dodge. I don't have dodge, so I add reflex.
You would have to roll higher than a 16.
Rolled a 10.
Oh no.
Marilka, you
3 times.
you stand there, and as you
die?
you try to take a
Why you
step
look so
backwards, and you find yourself stepping on the back of Geralt's his steel sword. So you trying not to make sure you step on the steel sword causes you to lose your balance for a second and hesitate as this werewolf comes charging at you with his claws. Oh,
Marilka!
oh.
Oh no, that's a terrible noise.
Marilka, you see this werewolf's right hand comes back and it goes bearing down your right arm, your bow arm, as you feel these claws rip through your flesh and the cloth, and as you take 13 points of damage, and you start to now you're now bleeding through. Yeah, your right arm is incredibly damaged as you just feel the blood, this warm liquid rushing down your arm.
13 points of damage, huh?
Oh no. Okay. Somebody, I'm so weak. Somebody, please.
Ow!
Marilka, it is now your turn as this werewolf is just having ripped through your arm. What would you like to do?
Is my right arm affected at all, or can I still shoot my bow?
I will say it'll be hard for you to shoot your bow. It'll probably be a -1 to all your archery rolls because you're going to have to just push through that pain.
Sure, let's try it. All of you, I need a dice jail.
Yes.
No,
Wow.
What
she
did you
didn't get
roll?
another 3.
Oh, yeah.
She did
Another
not.
3? We have 2
It's
re-rolls
fate.
left. Would
Wicked
you like to
fate.
use a
It is
re-roll?
Marilka's dice are haunted.
Haunted dice.
They're trying to tell us something.
We need like a summoning circle for this.
I'm stealing this one. Come on! Okay, at least it's a 5. So it's a 15 -1, so 14.
All right, let me roll this. All right. You successfully hit the werewolf. So roll your damage.
Good job.
10.
Where are you aiming? Do you have a specific spot you're aiming on this werewolf? Is it for that right eye again?
Sure is.
Your favorite spot.
Marilka, you grit through your teeth as you hold, your bow in your right arm, just like pushing through the pain as you draw back the bowstring with your left, and you just take that breath moment and release. And the arrow goes flying through the air, and it's luckily you're in pretty close proximity, so you didn't have to pull incredibly hard back. Instead, this arrow goes soaring right through the werewolf's right eye as you hear the squish of this arrow just making contact. And you hear the werewolf just howl and screech in pain as it rears back, its claws clutching its eye, and its large feet kind of bracing itself as it stumbles from the pain.
Help, 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 help.
Sirius, now your turn.
Are you all right?
No, help.
Okay. How close is it to me?
It is now, it's very close to Marilka and Yennefer. You're about a good 8 feet away from this werewolf. You and Geralt are kind of on this right side of this clearing.
Okay.
And Marilka and Yennefer on this left side of this clearing. Yaskir is perfectly centered in the up in the
middle of the action.
Up in the
Supervising. All right, I'd like to explore something on my ability a little bit. If I were to move a little closer to it and try and almost touch it with my hand as I scream, can I find out what might happen?
I'll say it's going to have to be pretty strong to see if anything new happens.
All right, I'm willing to try.
How many vigor points will you be spending?
2.
2, so it's 2 vigor
I
points.
think that might be enough.
I think so. Roll me 1d10 plus your spellcasting.
All right, that's my spell casting. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not great, but my spell casting is kind of low. That is a 10. Oh yeah, the rerolls.
We have 4 rerolls left. Thank you,
Oh.
rerolls.
Thank you.
The likelihood
Tossing
of getting higher
coins.
than a 6 is not great, but I'm gonna take 1.
You need an 11 on this.
Oh, what was that? It was on like directly in the center.
So reroll it
If
again.
it's cocked, yes,
Yeah,
you
it
can
was
reroll
cocked.
it again.
Nope.
Would you like to use one more reroll?
Yes. All right. Please, please, and thank you.
Just need one more.
Oh my god. We need rerolls.
You guys, we need some re-rolls.
All right. So the highest that I got was that 10. So I'm useless. Hi, I'm useless.
With with a 10, I will say still roll me 2d6.
All right.
Oh no.
That's 9.
With a 9, we're going to split that right down
It's 11.
the middle.
Oh, just kidding. It's 11. Sorry.
11.
I did the math of a 5 plus a 4, and it was a 5 plus a 6.
We're
Did it
splitting that
backwards.
right down.
11.
Siri, you run up to this werewolf. And for the first, you center yourself, you focus. You try to tap into where this source is, this magical, powerful source is in yourself. As you put a hand on the werewolf, and for a second, you feel the pulse of a heartbeat, a fluttered heartbeat, a scared heartbeat. And then you just focus your scream, and you push the energy out of your hand into the werewolf. And as you do this, unfortunately, it is not as successful as you had hoped and imagined in your mind, as instead you are not kept still. You are sent flying backwards into the nearby tree, and you take 5 points of damage as you feel your back and the base of your skull slam against this tree from this force. However, as you start to look up and open your eyes, you see that you have weirdly slowed down this werewolf. This werewolf seems to be moving almost at a stuttering, glitchy like speed, in which sometimes its claws move up very quickly, and other times you see its arms moving slower and slower. This werewolf seems to speed up and slow down at a chaotic pace.
I don't know what I did.
Siri,
Siri, all right?
be careful.
I think I helped.
But also, well done.
Thank you.
You see as this werewolf now is almost trapped in this time warping vortex. You see it still grasping its head in confusion. These cries and these howls from this werewolf, you start to sense that there's almost this pain behind it. Maybe not just pain from Marilka's arrow, but just this pain of whatever magical prison that you have now trapped this being in. Yaskir, it is now your turn. You're up in a tree.
Yeah, is there any way to get to like where above this werewolf is having a moment?
I will say it's a very thin branch. You could possibly like climb across, but you're going to have to be quite dexterous.
Ooh. All right. I do have a rope with me. I was hoping I was just kind of take this moment to. Would it be easier for me to just throw it from here, or should I climb out, or?
Would you like to? Are you trying to lasso the
I'm
werewolf?
taking feedback. I'm new to this monster hunting. Yeah, I want to try to lasso this werewolf. So I figure right out if I get it, I can jump off the branch as a counterweight. And
I see
maybe
what
He's
you're
suddenly
doing.
being very brave. It was that.
I'm going to
plus
use the
3 to his
environment
bravery.
tactically.
Yes, it's like
Use my brilliant mind.
fishing for sharks.
I will say that.
What am I supposed to roll, and how many tries do I have to fail at it?
Thank you.
I'm going to say that you're trying to, in essence, craft a trap.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
if you have trap crafting, please roll that plus your d10. If you don't, you just add your craft. And
Okay.
if that's not on there, then you will just add your dexterity.
I mean, I've got a higher dexterity than craft, if I could use that, but I do have craft. I have
Oh,
a craft
wonderful.
of 4.
Then yes, just roll me 1d10 plus your craft.
That is an 8.
With an 8. You are able to, as you quickly, you're a little hesitant of how successful this plan will be as you quickly take this rope and kind of tie it into a nice lassoing knot.
Mm-hmm.
You shimmy yourself out on this branch until you're in a good distance away from this werewolf.
All right. Good. Still freaking out, right?
Now roll me. Now first you're going to throw down this lasso.
Mm-hmm.
It lands around the werewolf. Now I need you to roll me a.
That's good. A round's good.
Now you need you to roll me a body roll, a physique roll, to see if you can
All right.
see if you can fall down from this tree successfully while pulling on this rope and.
All right. That's a
completing
total
the trap.
of 10. Is that good? Am I feeling confident about that, or is it re-rolling time?
May need a reroll.
Yeah. That's better. 11. See? A marked improvement. I was right to hesitate and wait for the perfect moment. Tell me what grand act I accomplished with an 11.
How much is your body again?
4?
How much is your body?
With
Only 4.
With an 11. Mm-hmm. Yaskir, you suddenly just close your eyes, perhaps murmur a quick prayer to whatever god or
Militele, of course.
you worship, and you close your eyes as you drop from this tree branch and land successfully. Like you remember to bend your knees as you land, so
Yeah,
you're
compress.
not suffering any breakage, but you are able to your ingenious trap that you were able to pull. As you land on the ground, your thin bard-like body does not have the force to accomplish all the things you wished it to accomplish when pulling this rope and triggering this pulley trap with this werewolf.
This could have gone much worse, actually.
However, yes, you find yourself, as soon as you land, this werewolf gets the rope around the werewolf's arms and torso gets pulled tightly as it's pulled up for a second, but then you find yourself then being pulled up by the weight of the werewolf. As you're now standing on you now find yourself standing on your tiptoes, holding onto this rope. However, now the werewolf is bound by a rope, so any attacks the werewolf is going to make are going to be more difficult for it.
Curse my svelte frame. Quick, grab me. Help. Add some more on this end.
Okay.
Yennefer, it is now your turn.
Okay, I guess I am so weak right now. My figure's at like 1. I have 10 health, so I guess. Am I close?
You can run over to Yaskir, yes. You will be able to dodge over and
I feel
run
like
towards him.
at this point, that might be the only option for me. So I run over to Yaskir. Yaskir, hold on. Let me do something. Let me help. So I just try to like grab onto the rope as well and like try to lasso this werewolf.
Or you try to add your body
Or
weight to pull it.
yeah.
To
The
pull it
already
into the
lassoed
air
rope.
more like a pinata.
Yes. So I just add to
Oh
it.
my god.
Roll me 1d10 plus your physique. And if you don't have that, it's just your body.
My physique is all right. Body is 6 plus 3, so 9 plus a d10. 18.
Nice.
With an 18, yes, Yennefer, despite the chaotic essence and your chaotic control over magic feeling depleted and weak, and your whole entire just self feeling weak from the previous battle, seeing Jaskier in trouble stirs this human side of you as you're able to quickly dash over. And yes, as Jaskier's dangling on the rope on his tiptoes, you're able to grab the rope slightly above him, and using all the force you have left in your body, summon this inhuman-like strength that just pulls both Jaskier down onto the ground, and it sends this werewolf now up 2 feet off the ground. And so this werewolf is now hovering in the air.
Werewolf pinata.
Werewolf pinata.
Awesome.
We made a werewolf pinata.
I will say this is just rope.
Yeah.
This is not any kind of enchanted rope or powerful substance. So perhaps if someone were to try and slash or cut at this werewolf while in this position, it will ultimately break free. So, but yes, you have detained this werewolf for just a moment. I tip my hat to you. A clever use of your items. Geralt, it is now your turn.
Above game, may I ask who the two children's the names were again?
Yes. The young boy was named Horace.
Okay.
The young girl was named Letty.
Oh yes.
Okay. So you see Geralt twirl his silver sword around in anticipation to charge at the wolf. And while doing so, he lets out more of a barking command as he asks the wolf, "Let me ask you a question before I end your life, wolf."
I will
Really
say, Geralt,
necessary?
you can only do one of two things. You can either ask the wolf you can either ask the werewolf a question, or you can charge at it with your blade.
I'm going to roll a die for myself. I'm going to charge at it.
Get it.
I guess.
Very glad.
I'm going to forget what I said. Fuck that. I'm going to charge at the werewolf, and try to do a couple swipes at it with my silver sword.
Wonderful. Roll me your swordsmanship.
I think you might need to.
Yeah, reroll.
All right.
I beg you.
Come on, Geralt. Now's your
That-
chance.
that
We
was
still want it to be a
very bad.
pinata.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Can't
the
hold
last
this much
reroll.
longer.
We're gonna have to burn the whole building down at this point.
Use this one.
Oh, are all
it's
the
cursed.
dice cursed?
We're haunted.
Apparently they're all cursed. Oh my
Haunted
gosh.
dice. I like haunted dice.
Let's see. Oof.
That is
Well,
a
they're not
12.
With a 12, this is what happens, Geralt.
Oh, jeez.
Unfortunately, you go charging towards this werewolf, but as you're charging, the speed that you're picking up is not fast enough, as this werewolf, though it is bound and now hanging in the air, still can generate some momentum as this werewolf sees you charging towards it, and it kind of throws itself out of it, hoists its body weight to the side, throwing it out of the way as your blade simply grazes the rope that is holding this werewolf intact, cutting this werewolf free. As it lands on the ground with a thud, Jaskier and Yennefer, you go flying backwards onto your backs onto the ground as this weight is now gone and your rope is now
Geralt.
broken.
Shit.
This is very bad. This is
As
very
this
bad.
werewolf
tried.
This werewolf starts to pick itself up. Yennefer, it sees you as prone, the closest prone figure to it.
Geralt, what was that? Oh god. All right. Oh, I'm gonna use the last of my vigor to just like.
This is this werewolf's move, so
Werewolf's
you can
Oh,
try and
just
dodge.
kidding.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to dodge.
All right, you will have to do better than an 18.
Jeez.
This werewolf, I don't know what dice you're using, but my dice app seems
You
to
know
be
what? I don't think
loving this werewolf.
an 18. That's unless it explodes, right?
Unless
Unless
it
it
explodes.
Once it explodes.
How many rerolls do we have?
We have
you know-
5 rerolls.
All right, take them.
All I can do is dodge.
All you can do is dodge.
All right.
This werewolf.
Give me
is
You
in
got
charge.
this.
10. That's a 10.
Yes.
command it to be so.
Another!
I guess it explodes. That's a 6. 10 plus 6 plus a 7. Math, wait.
Oh,
16
this
plus
reminds me so much.
23.
Oh
Now
no.
you understand what a bird felt like.
I got that Thousand Suns luck on my side.
Yennefer! How exactly do you dodge? As you see this werewolf on its, this werewolf is no longer standing on both hind legs. It's now taken on much more of an animalistic canine stance as it starts to charge at you with both all 4 large paw-like limbs now just charging towards you, ready to swipe.
I recognize its berserk mode, and I kind of wait for it to get close. And at the last possible moment, I go off at an angle kind of towards it, but off to the side right before it swipes at me.
Luckily, yes, you are able to just quickly dodge roll as you tumble yourself. Yes, you're waving, you give your hands up, just whoa, get out of the way as you see Yennefer almost just tuck and roll expertly as this werewolf slides against the wet leaves and mud and skitters off, now turning and facing all 5 of you.
Rough.
Marilka, it is now your turn.
So you yell at the dice until they do what you want.
Typically.
Okay, hit.
Oop. I didn't even go in the tray.
That's another 3.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
God, that's another 3.
Marilka, I forgot to ask before you rolled. What are you trying to do?
Trying to shoot it with my bow.
Wonderful. You
Like,
still have a negative
normal.
1 to your archery
Yeah, sure
roll.
do. But that's literally the best I can.
Any rerolls?
No, we have rerolls.
Oh no,
We
yeah,
have
yeah.
4
Oh
rerolls.
yeah. No. That's happening. I don't know. Okay, please.
You have to command it. Another
I
3.
rolled another 3, guys. How many rerolls do we have?
We have 3 left. You can use 1 more.
Wait, it was not another 3.
It was another 3.
It was.
And all different dice?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Help.
I thought she was doing it wrong at first as well, but it's clearly
So
cursed
many
dice.
3s. The devil comes in 3.
One more, and then I, it is what it is.
Hey,
Okay.
6.
So that's a 16 minus 1 is a 15.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
That narrowly hits.
Oh.
Narrowly.
Where are you aiming
Well done,
this
Marilka.
time, Marilka? You now see that as you stare down at this werewolf, it's much more kind of on canine form, and its eyesight is a little bit lower than it was standing on its haunches.
Okay. I'm going to go for right, its haunches, right in where it's
Right in its shoulder?
Yeah.
Are you aiming towards the right shoulder or the left shoulder?
It's blind spot, the right shoulder.
Wonderful.
Oh my god. 8.
With an 8, yes, Marilka, once again, you pull back your bow, gritting through the pain as you have not addressed this wound on your arm yet, and you you start to feel your arm becoming weaker and weaker as just now you feel that as your fingers pull back on your bow, they're now starting to turn pale at the end as the blood is just running and just leaving your arm. But you are able to, once again, grit your teeth, hold your breath, and fire another menacing arrow towards this werewolf as it pierces through, yes, its right shoulder, right into the ligaments between where the shoulder cap and the clavicle meet in this perfect fleshy area. As this werewolf, you see its right forearm just kind of start to slump as it whines and grunts in pain, trying to pick itself up, but it's no longer able to support its body weight under that right arm.
Good job, Marilka.
Brilliant, Marilka.
Help.
We need to start healing her.
Siri, you've been able, through all of this chaos, you've been able to pick yourself up from the base of this tree and steady yourself, ready to fight once again. What would you like to do?
All right. How far am I from it?
As of right now, you are actually one of the closest, as Yaskir and as Yennefer dodged out of the way, Yaskir was able to scoot last minute. This werewolf kind of slid and dodged and is now the closest person
All
to
right,
it
I would like to try to slash at it with my steel sword.
with your steel sword.
And I'm not going to stab into it, so I get to keep my sword this time.
Remind me how strong is your sword now? Because I believe yes, you were able to sharpen it a bit.
2d6s plus 3.
Wonderful. Siri, you need to roll me your swordsmanship. And if you do not have a swordsmanship ability, you need to roll me 1d10 plus your reflex.
That's a reroll?
Yes, you must. Yes. There's 2 rerolls. There is only 1 reroll left after
It
this.
explodes. All right.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. All right. 13 plus 9.
With a 22. Where exactly are you? Is there a specific place where you're aiming on this werewolf?
Is it still on all fours?
You see it's still on 4s. You see it's leaning heavily on its left kind of front arm. This right arm seems to kind of be buckling under the weight anytime it tries to put it down, and you hear it just wincing and whining as it tries to stand on it due to Marilka's arrow piercing through the connecting points.
I want to try to take that arm off.
All right, roll me your 2d6. Roll me your damage.
Come on, Siri.
All right. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 points
With
of
a
damage.
10 and with a very high roll, Siri, you are able to muster this strength, all of the fear that you have experienced from being on the run after seeing your city being burned and ransacked, knowing that every last living relative of yours is gone. You become not just the lion cub, but a new lioness as you take your slightly sharpened steel sword back and you come down on the already inflicted wound that Marilka has put into this werewolf. And luckily you come down on it with the side of the sword that you did in fact sharpen and made less blunt. And you're able just to, with all this force, and you're being cut through this werewolf's arm.
Gross.
Oh wow.
You cut through and you quickly slide. You're not able to cut all the way through, but you get about 60% of the way through and then slide your blade out quickly, knowing not to let it rest in another creature's body. As you now see, this werewolf has like a slightly attached, a half attached right arm, as it's just like these tendons and these muscles in this arm socket are just kind of like barely holding its arm onto its body.
That actually
Well
cut.
done, princess.
Good job.
You were bleeding a lot. I got scared.
Yeah, it's still bleeding a lot, just so everybody knows.
Yes. Let's finish this thing. Put it out of its misery.
You hear it just wince and whine in pain as it kind of starts to slowly start to back up. You see it staggering, kind of its werewolf arm trying to clutch onto its now slightly removed arm, but the claws of the werewolf arm are just kind of cutting into that wound and are not able to keep it in place. Yaskir, it is now your turn.
How close am I to this partially dismembered creature?
I will say you are about 5 feet away, 5 to 6 feet away.
Oh, I'm grabbing the wounded arm and just ripping it off.
You're running. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Roll me.
But then I'm gonna book it. I'm not gonna hang around. I'm not gonna hang about. I'm gonna leave once I've got the arm.
All right.
Awesome.
Roll me 1d10 plus your body again.
It's 11.
With an 11. I will say with an 11, yes, I was about to have you roll your punch or kick, but this is not a punch or a kick. This is
more
just
of a
straight,
rip.
This
It's
is
a
just a rip, straight damage. Yaskir, describe to me how do you run up and...
Well, I mean, they're trying to keep their weight on it and such. And I just think you just kind of run up and just grab it like this and just leg it into the woods, and hopefully it falls over. and does not bite me while I'm on the way out.
Yaskir, you in a moment's notice you've sensed this kind of the fight or flight skill that you've always kind of teetered on the edge when becomes fight. As you quickly dash up towards this werewolf, as it starts to limp, slowly starts to try and limp away and escape. as you're able to grab this barely attached right arm. You are able to, you grab it under your own arm, and then you almost turn and pull as you start to run, and you don't see it. You just behind you hear this rip and crack as you then, you book it forward, and at first you're met with resistance.
I'm running into the woods now.
And then you just hear this snap, and suddenly you're booking it, and under your arm is now the right arm of a werewolf.
Oh my god, Yaskier, that was so gross.
Where are you running to?
The four of you see Yaskier come over and just like I said, grab and twist as this werewolf retches back in pain and howls, screeching this noise, causing all the birds remaining in the trees above you to go flying away, this terrible scream in pain, as he then with one more pull pulls the arm off. The werewolf now left on its back, all of this blood just pouring out onto the forest floor, as then the four of you see Yaskier just book it further into the woods, not looking back.
Yaskier, where are you going?
I'll be back. Finish it.
Where are you going?
Oh my god, Yaskier.
Yennefer, it is now your turn.
This werewolf is still alive, but dismembered partially. God. Well, is it kind of far from me?
I will say it's about 6 feet away from you, because you and Yaskier were in the same vicinity of this werewolf.
I want to. Am I closer to Marilka than Siri?
You're actually closer to Ciri than Marilka.
Dang it. I want to send out some sort of healing, just energy towards her arm, if that's at all possible.
Would you like to use the last of your vigor to try and heal?
Oh man.
It's okay.
I
I'll
think
be
you're closer to
fine.
dying than she is.
I will be the first she-wolf.
not a
I will
competition.
prove Geralt wrong.
Man, what do I do in this situation? What do you think of it?
It's a competition.
I have high
Which of the
seduction.
lesser of these two evils will you choose?
I mean, I
No,
can't
it's saying
fix it.
she's closer to dying. I'm fine.
Oh, you know what? I'm going
doing
to. I'm going to do my best to just stealth and just try to. I don't like that look.
I'm trying to figure out what you want to do.
Seduce it. Okay, I'm going to stealth, not seduce the dismembered werewolf. I was just joking.
Sorry.
So I'm just going to try to
That
stealth
was an option?
and like just stealth away.
You just want to
That's
get
called
out
hiding,
of the battle.
love. That's called hiding.
You want to go into a hiding spot.
Yes, I'm going to go to a tree, I guess.
Climbs up the tree.
Just kind of be by a tree.
Roll me.
Yeah.
Roll me your dodge/escape. And if you don't have that skill, roll me your reflex.
All right, 7. A 9 is 16.
You are able to, as this werewolf is writhing in pain, it is much more focused on its own self than it is any of you. So yes, Yennefer, as you see Yaskier quickly book it, you think that's not such a bad idea as you kind of quickly, do you climb up a tree or you simply kind of
Just kind of
find
go
your-
around it, just
you-
like put a tree in between me and the werewolf.
You quickly make your way around the nearest tree and just kind of brace yourself for the remainder of the fight. Geralt, this werewolf is now just writhing on the ground.
Oh, it's not walking away now. It's just,
No, it's still very focused on its missing arm.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Yes. Please put it out.
You see that it's now slowly trying to pull itself up back using its other paw.
you'll see Geralt walk to the wolf, holding his sword, and immediately just stab it straight onto its Achilles to trap it, to impale it on the ground with the silver sword. Is that my action, or can I ask that a question?
You can either ask a question or you can stab this wolf.
I'm gonna stab it.
Then you're just going
Yes,
to
I'm gonna
stab
stab
the
it.
wolf.
That's it.
What is your priority?
Roll me 1d10 plus your swordsmanship.
That is a 16.
It hits.
Okay.
You take your silver sword, coated in cursed oil, and you plunge it right down into the Achilles heel of this werewolf. Once again, this werewolf lets out a horrible, nasty, howling screech, but this time it is sounding more human than wolf. As you hear this human yell behind this wolf.
We ripped a person's armor.
I knew it. I knew it.
So you went.
I can't answer the question though. That's the end of my turn.
It's the wolf's turn.
Yes, that's the wolf turn. Oh, do I do damage or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll me your damage.
Okay.
With a +5 thanks to your cursed oil.
Okay. How many rerolls we have?
You cannot
reroll
reroll
damage.
damage.
Reroll
Okay.
damage.
Oh, that is you said +5.
Mm-hmm.
6, 11.
As your blade comes down into this Achilles heel.
Oh, sorry. 13, because of the extra 2 silver swords.
Your blade, your silver blade, coated in cursed oil, plunges into the Achilles heel of this werewolf,
Gross.
and it just lurches out in human-like pain as you know from your Witcher experience that this cursed oil is now seeping through the blood veins of this poor cursed monster. As the scream echoes out into this forest, Yaskir, even though you are a good distance away by now, as you have not stopped, you have just continued to keep running, you hear this more human-like scream and howl.
I look at the arm that I'm carrying. Is it changing? Is it
Nope, it's just like
still wolfy?
It's still wolfy.
That's probably for the best.
And I'm gonna slow down and kind of look around in fear and just wait. Just take a breath for a moment.
You realize you don't know exactly where you are in these woods. As you look around, you can tell where you came from, but you do not know where the city of Darkney is in correlation to where you are positioned in these kind of northern woods.
I'm just gonna wait and listen, see what everybody else is doing. Maybe slowly make my way back, carefully, moving from tree to tree.
In the wolf's last moments, it turns to you, Cirilla, and you see its mouth quickly open as its head lunges towards you and clamps down. Would you like to try and dodge?
Yes.
All
Has anyone
right.
ever said no to that? Okay. All right. All right. That is a 17 to dodge.
That's not enough.
I would like to re-roll. Wow,
Come
that's
on,
a
Siri.
really high dodge. That's not better. One more.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, it escaped, but it crit.
Oh, damn. Does it count? I don't think so.
It does not count unless it's in the box. You get to re-roll it again.
But it.
You can do that again. You've done it once. You can do it again.
Okay. All right, that is an 18 to dodge.
With an 18, Siri, you quickly see this wolf's maw just in desperation try to chomp at you. You're able to pull your hand away for the most part. However, you feel the scratch of the wolf's teeth on top of your palm as you pull it away. Do you know if you have been inflicted with lycanthropy or not? You don't know. These scratches are fairly deep, but not bleeding.
It got,
Oh, we need to check that wound out when we get a chance.
Really?
Oh, yes, you too as well. I'm sorry.
As you see
Apologies.
this wolf's chest just become, the breaths of this wolf become more labored and labored. As it slowly keeps drawing fewer and fewer breaths. These breaths then begin to take almost on a human-like.
what's happening? What's
Sound.
it doing? Why is it doing that?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I don't understand.
I knew it's human.
It's what?
Will you speak?
Uh-oh.
You're in the forest.
Creature.
Let me ask you a question. Does Horace and Letty sound anything familiar to you?
Letty! Where's Letty? Letty!
She's back at the house.
Letty is safe.
I thought I heard a scream. I thought I heard Letty scream. I ran. As this wolf looks at you, Geralt, you see that its werewolf-like bestial eyes have now melted. into soft, hazel human eyes as it looks back up at you.
I'm sorry.
What do I have in my inventory? Potion-wise.
What are you looking for?
Just anything to heal.
Is human her missing
Well,
an
maybe
arm?
we should bring that arm back.
And an
first.
eye.
Well, I don't think we could do anything with that arm.
Is her human arm gone?
I have it behind my back. I have a very guilty look on my face.
Oh, are you? You have not. I don't think you've
You-
come
you
back
haven't
yet.
come back
You're
yet.
still a
Oh.
little lost in the woods.
All right, I'm slowly making my way back.
I say
there.
yes. You're slowly
Looking
making your
guilty
way
just
back.
alone.
But yes,
I mean-
I have her arm with me.
And I took her eye out, but I don't look guilty at all.
It's funny that you keep saying her.
Oh, was it her? I was just saying as a...
Geralt.
Okay.
Is it the father?
They said they found the body.
You do have. You find you don't have any potions on you, but you do have some food. Food that could perhaps help maybe stabilize this wolf. Maybe give it a little bit more energy, this werewolf, or the human trapped within it.
Do you?
All right.
Feed the cursed
I
creature.
take out what I have as food.
Are you sure you want to make it stronger?
Yes.
I think it's.
It might be related to the children back at the house.
Do you know your name?
Do you hand the werewolf the food?
Not yet.
I would throw it, perhaps.
The werewolf is currently pinned by Geralt's silver
Yeah,
sword.
it
If you
can't- it can't
threw the
move.
food, that would be quite cruel.
Actually,
That's horrible.
One-handed
Humanely-
catch as
you
well.
mainly had
I guess I'm
food
still
to
holding the
live,
sword while
yes.
I'm taking it out.
My name is Horace.
Wait, what?
It's the little boy.
Geralt, for the first time, you, with a clear mind, see that this werewolf is not as large as other werewolves are. This werewolf appears a little more adolescent in its size and form.
How did this happen?
My
As I give him the food.
You give him the food.
Yes.
Very kind of you.
Or at
Horace,
least you could
Horace,
do.
with his left arm, slowly takes the food. His arm still shuddering from the time magic and all the pain that has been afflicted to him. As you see the food, as he brings it slowly to his mouth, his wolf-like instincts almost take over as he gnaws on it and chomps it down quickly. This saliva coming down his neck. My mother. She was cursed. But she passed. That's why we lived so close to the woods. My father protected her. This curse was passed down to me. She gave me this. As you see this wolf's claws kind of tug at this tiny beaded necklace you see around its neck, as it kind of pulls it off quickly and holds the beads in the air. These were supposed to help control me, but they didn't. I killed my own father. I heard his screams. I couldn't remember clearly until now being back in this form. I wanted to blame it on something else and not myself. I heard Letty's screams. I thought she was in the woods. I came. I smelled you. I smelled ghouls. And that part of me took over.
You heard Letty screaming?
Yes, I heard a young girl screams.
Siri. I would assume, right?
Yeah, that was you, Princess.
I believe you screamed earlier.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry. Please. See, his paw holds out the necklace, his claws slowly opening up as his hand shakes. Who's going to reach for the necklace?
I will.
Siri, you reach for this beautiful jade bead necklace. And as soon as you take it, you see these soft, young hazel eyes look at you and look at Geralt. I'm sorry.
No.
As the wolf, as slowly reclines back, his eyes still open.
No.
As you see the labored breath of the werewolf become softer and softer until they're still.
Yennefer, can you do anything?
It's okay, child.
There has to be some kind of magic for it, right?
Hush! Rest now. And I just kind of put my hand on his paw.
You put your hand on his paw as Horace's final breath. You hear it leave his cavity. Yaskier, you have walked up and seen the last of this exchange. Now noticing your friends surrounding this werewolf's
I think I'm just
body.
going to put the arm sort of back next to him.
I want
sorry.
to close the the child's eyes, and just sit there for a moment and gather my thoughts. Get up. All right. We're done here. We should bury this child just in case they find it.
Not to make this about me or you or anyone, but I'm in a bit of trouble, and
Yes.
I'm gonna go to Marilka. I'll try to patch her up a little.
But what's the timeline like for stuff like this? Am I a werewolf now?
Let's get these antidotes, these cures concocted
What's that like?
fast.
Because I would be an awesome werewolf, but if you're gonna kill me, I need to know right now.
May you see Geralt thinking back through his thoughts about what would happen through past memories of if someone was bit or clawed by a werewolf. What would happen, or what's the duration of the possibility of the person getting turned to a werewolf? So is there anything I can roll?
Roll me your monster lore.
Okay. It's 7 plus 8. So is that 16 or 15? 15.
With a 15, Geralt, you recall that the only way lycanthropy can be truly passed down is through the teeth, a bite, perhaps, of a werewolf. So you know that Marilka should be fine. Perhaps the worst she'll suffer is an infection due to how dirty the wolf's claws were if her wounds are not treated immediately. But Ciri did get her hands scratched by the teeth of the wolf. You're not able to recall if that is enough.
Ciri, may I see your arm? Fuck.
What?
We need to get this treated. Marilka, I'm not done.
Marilka, how are you feeling right now?
Great.
Marilka, you'll be fine. Granted, it may be an infection or something like that. We can heal that right now and get some herbs somewhere nearby to assist with you.
You do remember that there is a herbalist in town. You remember seeing their stall in the marketplace.
We need to go to this herbalist that we, I remember seeing an herbalist as we were trying to find swords to treat your wounds, both of your wounds. Actually, everybody's wounds that's going on.
Pretty sure Yaska is fine.
I'll deal with you later. For now, we need to go back in town.
Thank you, I am fine.
But
I'm a
It's good to
child.
hear.
I mean, apart from the child murdering,
Yes,
but,
yeah.
you know, that...
May I whistle real quick to summon Roach?
I will say yes, you can, and Roach appears.
Yaskia, Yennefer, I need you to go on and take these two to town real quick while I bury this child.
Very well.
Okay.
All right. Come on, Marilka.
Take Roach with
I
you.
just like rip some stuff off and like at least wrap her wounds and like hers as well. Let's go to town. Let's get some cures concocted.
I'll be soon behind.
So we just get
Sarah,
on
you'll
it.
be fine. You just need to... And Maroka. You both will be fine.
It was an afterthought about you.
I was going
I-
to say something nice to you, and I'm not.
I want to walk up to Maroka and grab her hand gently and just... You'll be fine. Trust me. All right, onwards. I need to do this.
I've just given Roach some of his favorite good oats that he's been getting as part of my bond with him. We have a connection. It is what it is.
Roach almost gives you a gentle nod. Geralt, you've never seen Roach nod to another human before.
All hearts eventually belong to me, Geralt. You know this.
Whatever, just hurry up and
You're
go.
not even beyond animals. I'm not surprised. Anyways,
We're children.
shall we go?
As Yaskir, you begin to lead. You begin to lead Roach with Yennefer, Marilka, and Ciri back into the town of Darkney. Geralt, you are left alone in these woods as you begin to are you going to burn the body or are you going to dig a grave?
I'm going to burn the body. Not burn the body.
Cremate. Fine.
I'm going to bury it.
Geralt, you slowly start to. You don't have a shovel on you.
No, I don't.
Are you going to have to go back to the cottage?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wonderful. Geralt, you make your way back to Horace and Letty's family cottage in search of a shovel. And once you get there, you notice that it is strangely quiet. Ciri had earlier escorted Letty back to this cottage, but Letty is not there. You see that there are almost signs of a struggle. Broken pots, a knocked over sack of flour, and a distinctive looking blade is stabbed into a pillow on the bed.
Is there any blood on the blade? It's just a blade into
There is
bed?
no blood on the blade, but would you like to look at this blade to see what kind of blade it is?
Yes, I would.
Geralt, you slowly make your way into the cottage, and as you pull this blade out of the pillow, you notice that the handle is ornately carved and has these beautiful blue and green-like designs to it. And you recognize that this is a dagger of the Soyatel. We cut back to Yaskir, Yennefer, Marilka, and Ciri as they arrive at Neria's Herbalist Emporium. It is a humble shop, and as you hitch Roach outside to the horse hitching post, and as the four of you walk in, you notice that it is a cozy, tiny shop, that there is a slight bell that hangs on the door that rings as you come in, and as you walk in, you're hit with the smell of honey and rosemary and lavender, as you're just, for a moment, the worries of the day and the fighting and the sadness that you've once felt seem to leaven with this comforting aroma. As you see behind a counter, using a mortar and pestle, furiously murmuring and talking to herself in a variety of emotions, just caught up in her own work, is a half-elf woman with long brown hair in two braids that sit over her apron. And then no, we had to go there. We had to go just to make sure we go down to the market today. Like we're going to see anybody. No, we're not going to see anybody. Nereus. No, Nereus. We're not going to see anyone, I promise. I love you so much, Nereus. I love you so much.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Didn't mean to bother you, but we do have
my goodness.
urgent situations here.
She quickly puts these glasses over her thin nose as she looks at you. Oh.
Wounds need healing.
Yes.
Wounds need healing. We need some poultices for...
Poultices. Is there anything else that was affected?
Yeah.
Also...
I got bit by a werewolf, I believe.
You see that you see that her arm quickly grabs your hand as she flicks the side of her glasses that puts almost these increased spectacles on a second set of lens on top of her lenses as she looks closely at your hand.
Pay attention to her.
You said you was bit.
I was grazed by the teeth.
Grazed by the teeth. Luckily, the grazing is not 0.5 inches below the skin. That's when you get into real trouble. But we will make a salve, shall we? Yes, we shall. We shall make a salve that will help you.
Thank you.
And you, yes, you. Just no biting over here, is it?
Yeah, no, just claws. just claws and
just claws.
And blood loss.
Blood loss. Yes, claws, blood loss. A salve to stop the bleeding, a salve to cure, a salve to heal, to stop infections. Bandages, splints, you name it. As Nereus just disappears behind the counter and starts to furiously find and just kind of search through bandage. You see all of a sudden they're pulling out bandages, they're pulling out a pot of salve, they're pulling out all these other items on top of the counter. Yes, come, sit.
Okay.
As you notice that there's a bench behind Nereus's workstation, they then begin to address your wounds, putting salve, layering it with gauze, salve, layering it with gauze, salve, layering it with gauze over and over. You cannot believe the speed at which this half-elf is working as they quickly just tie you up. And you feel that that Nereus has put a splint in your arm as well, as for the first time your wounds feel bound, feel cool. They added a pain reliever to your salve as well, so you're starting to feel a little more, no longer worse for wear. Marilka, can you please roll me 1d10 plus your recovery?
9.
Oh my gosh.
No.
Oh no.
No, it was a 2 this time.
Okay.
8.
With an 8, so after Nereus bandages you recover 8 health points back.
Awesome.
As you are able to gain, you start to open and close your hand again. You're able to gain feeling back in your hand. Now you come. As Nereus quickly, you see them kind of toss these other mortar and pestles to the side of which they were making your salves, and brings out an entirely new mortar and pestle. Climbing up on shelves, Nereus pulls down wolfsbane and a number of other herbs and concoctions as they throw them into the mortar and start to grind and grind and grind and grind. We cut back to Geralt.
Fuck.
As you found a shovel, you standing in the home. You can either bury Horace at this time, or you can go find your friends in town.
I need to. That Yaskia's out there. Yennefer's hurt. Rilda's hurt. I need to go back to town. I'll come back and, as I'm saying this in my head, I'll go back and bury the child when I can.
As you start to make your way back into town, thank you all so much for being so generous.
No. Oh.
Let's roll a little d10, shall we? Ooh,
Oh,
interesting.
are you kidding?
Here we go. As if we haven't suffered enough.
Thank you, though.
I only got one arm.
2.
You can't draw a bow with a splint.
No. I still don't even have enough. I haven't recovered yet.
Oh, we in trouble. We in trouble, y'all.
I'm gonna die. What was my roll again? Yes.
She's rolling a d10.
It's 1, 2, 3.
Oh boy.
Gerald, as you make your way back into town, you're no longer fast because you don't have Roach on there, so it's a slow walk back into town as you pass a few of the farms and make your way towards the north gate of Darkney, the gate that connects the rural side of town to the more metropolitan. And as you make your way in, you hear a scream from a farm to your right, as you see this woman yelling and picking up her skirt and trying to run over mounds and mounds of slowly growing grain as she tries to barrel her way out of the field, and you see that a ghoul is in fact chasing her on all fours, almost about to catch her. What would you like to do?
Do I have any like daggers in my inventory?
It should say so on your sheet.
No.
No.
I'm
then you
going
do not.
to. How far is it from? How far are they from me?
I will say it's about 20 feet away. You look over to your right and you see this nice farm plotting land, and you see this woman, this middle-aged woman, now running in fear from this ghoul that is quickly gaining speed on her.
I see Geralt just wield his sword, take out his silver sword, and as he's running towards the lady, over here, I can be of service to your help.
Oh God! What? No!
As I want to use my last vigor to like push the ghoul away, if I could do that.
All right, roll me 1d10 plus your spell casting.
Oh, it's an 8 plus 7.
That definitely hits.
Okay, just 1d6.
Yes, since it is only 1 vigor.
It's a 4.
You are able to, you successfully channel your Witcher signs, and you're able to, you say Agni?
He has to be Ard, I believe.
Ard.
Yeah.
You channel Ard, and you're able to, yes, push, send a swift force of air and push, staggering this ghoul in the fields, allowing the woman to get a good distance of escape, as now the ghoul slowly starts to get up and charges towards you. Wonderful. This ghoul charges towards you on all fours, its mouth gaping open. What would you like to do? Would you like to try and dodge? You would like to try and dodge.
Kind of want to grab it and, well, you know what? I'll dodge. Yeah, I won't be too fancy.
You could try and counter it if you wanted to.
Oh, I could?
Yeah, I'll give
Let's
you
try that. I'll try to counter to catch it, sort of stop from doing whatever.
Wonderful. If you're trying to counter, I need you to roll me 1d10 plus your, I'm gonna say you're brawling as you're trying. This is much more of a counter, a physical counter than anything.
Okay.
Spice it up.
May I use a reroll?
Yes, you can. There is 1 reroll left.
I think there's too many things in here.
No.
Thank you. Okay, good.
Nice.
It is a 9 plus 5, so 14.
I'm very concerned that we're running out of rerolls. It's
Oh,
only
yeah, we are.
7:30.
Oh no.
With a 14, do you bring up your blade to try and counter?
Yes.
As you bring up your blade to try and counter, unfortunately your hand slips a bit for a second, and the ghoul is able to take a nice chomp out of your right fingers gripping your blade. But then you're able to, the ghoul takes a nice 3 points of damage chomp. Not a terrible chomp, but something definitely to get you off your guard.
Okay.
But in an instant, you're able to grit through it and push your blade back and counter, as now this ghoul's kind of arms are now bracing against you and your sword.
Okay.
We cut back to the herbalist, to Nearus, having just patched up Marilka and Ciri, and finishing tying and solving Yennefer's hands. Now, what exactly did you come into contact with? What caused all this? Not a lot of these kinds of injuries inside the city. Were you outside the city?
Yes.
Yeah, we
Just a touch.
went into the woods, exploring.
Exploring.
We're helping our friend who's a witcher.
Oh, is that the witcher that's in town?
Mm-hmm.
The witcher
it-
that Olna talked about.
Probably, yes, probably the same. The very same.
You say the witches can only bring bad news.
Who says that? That's
Ghosts.
terribly narrow-minded.
I mean, wherever they go, they're going to kill. It's not necessarily good. It's not a good sign when a witcher shows up. It may take care of your problem. It's not a good sign.
I
I
mean-
suppose it's not.
Very apt.
I guess it's a worse fate if he doesn't, though.
yeah.
To be fair, the
he's here to
witches
help.
go where the problems are. They don't create the problems,
That's true.
Exactly.
True monstrous magical problems. Very, very terrifying times. As if war wasn't scary enough. War seems to preoccupy everybody else's mind, but no, not Neris's. Neris knows. Neris knows there's something in the air. Call it elven intuition, but Neris knows.
What do you mean there's something in the air?
What do sense?
Oh, tension, conflict. Not just from Nilfgaard. Olna swears that the town will be protected. Everything will be fine as long as we stay within the walls, stay by the great tree that Soyatel want. Skoyatel. The guerrilla force, the elves.
Yes.
War's coming to this town, whether it likes it or not. Olna can do all she wants to stop it. Would anyone like some tea? As you see Neris turn around and head back into a kitchen, as you hear they start to put on a kettle. You hear the clattering of porcelain cups and the like. The four of you are now alone in this tiny store. But Yaskir, you decide to pull Marelka aside and to have a conversation with her. And in fact, after this battle, you are going to try and convince her and successfully convince her through a new law of surprise for helping her in battle that she should perhaps follow in your steps and pursue the bardic arts.
Yeah. So I think that went quite well. Well, what I mean to say is as well as could really be expected of people like us.
We killed a kid. You ripped his arm off.
Well, you started it, honestly, with the shooting them there and all that. That was you're equally responsible.
Right, but I'd kind of do that.
Maybe you don't do that. Maybe you should do something else.
Like what?
Well, I mean, you've got a quick wit. I think you
Thanks.
might make an excellent performer, a storyteller, a historian, archivist, chronicler. There's a lot of glory out there to be gained without always being necessarily the one who has to, do the shooting. Not that you're bad at it, but I feel like, we got lucky this time, and we're not all witches or sorcerers, and some of us are ordinary people. I know neither you or I are, by any stretch of the imagination, ordinary, but maybe our extraordinariness is of a different sort.
But I still helped in the fight. I did well.
Yes.
I've saved her and everyone before you.
Yes. And I think there's knowing when you're not necessarily a main character in a story. Some of us are more there for support.
I could be a main character.
Yeah, the person who lives to the end and tells the story is the narrator. That's kind of like a main character.
But I want to be in stories. I don't only want to tell them.
I understand that. I worry. It would be a shame to see such talent wasted. I feel like there are less and less people every generation who want to be storytellers, who want to preserve knowledge. My classes at Oxenfurt were smaller and smaller every year until I left and went on the road and began plying my trade as a troubadour.
When you tell your stories, are they always true?
Oh, no, of course not. No, there may be a few things that have been embellished, sometimes what I did or didn't do.
So I could like describe Siri as having like a lazy eye or something.
And honestly, your audience will not know the difference. But
not that there's anything wrong with it's just I picked a lie that.
Yes. I feel like you've been getting along with her quite well, though.
Uh-huh.
I can't hear this. Inside.
I wouldn't feel jealous of her in any way.
I'm not. I'm better than she is.
Okay, good. Sure. Yeah, I believe you. I think that she's obviously got a lot of good things in her future, but there are going to be some difficult challenges for her.
She was really broken up earlier, wasn't she?
Yeah, and I mean, I've tried to get Geralt to talk about it, but he won't. But I've heard from other people that Witcher training is difficult. And I don't just mean that it's difficult to be good enough. I mean that you might have to have something special in you to even try and survive. So if you are still interested in it and you can convince him to let you do it, just know that you might be taking a risk that you don't need to. And that there are other things that you could do and still be a hero.
Okay. I mean... I'm not saying that you're right, but... I'll think about it.
Yennefer, while all this is happening, you see a familiar figure walk by the glass panes of the window shop outside. Only you notice. Would you like to step outside and follow this figure?
Yes, if I recognize him. Or them.
You manage to slip out while Yaskir and Marilka have their talk, and Ciri is looking around the shop and admiring her own wounds and bandages. As you exit the store and turn the corner, and you see a flash of a scarlet cloak go down into a slight alleyway. You follow this cloak, and as soon as you turn, you see standing there, waiting for you, is Olna.
Olna?
I see you've returned. Were you successful in stopping this beast and helping Horace and his family?
We stopped this beast, yes. We were successful.
That's good to hear.
It was a little complicated, though. This entire family seemed to have been cursed.
So it wasn't just wolves or monsters that was plaguing the family. It was the family that was essentially plaguing itself. How awful. I will have to go see
Don't.
see them immediately.
It's a mess. Just.
Well, someone
What
must
is-
take care of his younger sister, Letty.
Letty's. Okay.
Well, if she has no more surviving family members, then, well, surely we do have a small orphanage in town for those whose parents and living family members have been affected by the war.
Will you keep us safe?
Of course.
Do you know about these curses, these happenings around your town? When did these things start happening?
Well, Yennefer, as you know, the world, after the conclave, the world has always been infused with magic. It's just there's a balance between those that are monsters and those who can manage it. I'm surprised that, well...
There's something about this town, this tree.
Yes, there is. And that's why I wanted to talk to you, Yennefer. I know you. You are a masterful mage. Yet you are always on the run, always hunting for something. And I also know that you seem to doubt me. Doubt me and distrust me, and I
Your
understand.
intentions are not clear. And I would like to see them all on the table.
Yennefer, We both have lost something. I know of the trials that you went through. I lost my younger brother, my half-brother. Yes, he was not my brother by my mother, but I cared for him. He was my only family I had left. And I lost that. And after I lost him, I swore to protect those who needed help. He wanted to become a witcher. He bravely volunteered after our father passed. He wanted to protect me. And couldn't. And so I took up that mantle for him. I came to this small establishment, Darkney. I saw this power that they have here, this power that they were not even using correctly. I helped it. I used my mage powers to aid this tree, to make it a beacon of protection, to protect Darkney from the outside.
Ona, this is an ancient power. This is an ancient chaos. You think you can just tap into it and control it like that? You think your training has prepared you for this? What makes you so sure?
Well, Darkney cannot be found on maps. Darkney can only open towards those who know how to find it. You were able to find this city because I was leading you here. Had it not been for me and your knowledge of this place, you would have simply seen a wooded forest in a dense fog.
You've cloaked the entire city.
The tree has. It knows how to protect this land. It knows how to protect the people here. I have not manipulated it. I have simply fed and awakened this power that no one else knew of. Yes, the elves know.
The elves have always known.
And they will kill every single person in this town to have it back.
Then why not come to a compromise?
I have tried. And I have failed. We all have failed. And I will come to you with this, Yennefer. I know that you and your partner seem to be indecisive in who to assist in this situation, and I understand completely this is not a black or white situation, but perhaps I can offer you something in exchange.
Offer me what?
Yennefer, the sap of this tree has ancient healing qualities that no person or mage has been able to account for. These abilities, these healing properties have made the blind see, the mute talk. They say have even revived the dead and regrown limbs in the past. I have not personally tapped into it myself, nor do I allow anyone to harness the essence of this tree, but from the tomes of the elves that I have found, this tree has abilities that no one has been able to comprehend. If you assist me, if you convince Geralt and your party to help Darkney, help the people, the friends you've made in this town survive, and thus survive Nilfgaard, and make Darkney a beacon of hope and safety for all those who flee the war, I will give you this sap. I will harness the sap from the tree.
As if it was yours to harness in the first place. It does not belong to anybody, but I will consider helping. I just want peace here.
As do I, Yennefer. As do I. As you see Olna put her cloak back over on her head as she makes her way back into the town square, disappearing between the moving bodies and into the Alder house. We cut back to Geralt, who is now still in contest with the ghoul in the field. Geralt, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
You said the sword was...
The sword's kind of... You're bracing the sword, and you're keeping kind of the front momentum of this ghoul at bay.
I want to... Geralt's going to knee the ghoul in the stomach to push it back as he's going to just swipe at it to try to cleave it off.
So you want to do... All right.
Yeah, I just want to or shoulder charge, whatever, just to push it away so I can just cleave it in his face or cut his head off.
Roll me 1d10 plus your swordsmanship.
Okay. It's a 15.
You are successful, in which you you shoulder check this ghoul, and then where exactly are you slicing onto it?
I want to cut right above his eye, like right below his eyes.
You take roll your damage for me, please.
Are you trying to lobotomize the thing?
Yes. So 11, 12.
With a 12, yes, you are able to successfully check this ghoul, and you take your silver sword, and yes, you're able to slice right through the skull of this ghoul, almost as if butter, a knife through butter, as you see the top of the head of this ghoul slowly slide off onto the field. Its arms still charging at you, trying the last, like a chicken with its head cut off. Its body is still in this forward momentum almost, and it lunges at you. Would you like to try?
Oh, yes, I'm gonna dodge.
You would like to dodge?
Yeah, or yes, I'm
Would you
gonna
like
dodge.
to try and counter?
I'm going to counter it.
Wonderful. Please roll me 1d10 plus, I will say, your reflex, just straight reflex.
8 plus 12, so 20? Is that a 20?
That is a
Yes.
20. With a 20, yes, as this ghoul in its last moments of life, just after having its top of its skull cleanly shaved off, it throws its right forearm at you. You're able, though, to almost narrowly turn with the direction of its body weight as it throws it, and with a swift movement do a 180 degrees, and just take your sword, and behind you, you just stab right through the gut of this ghoul. Roll me your damage.
That is 11, 13.
With a 13, you cleanly pierce through the ghoul's stomach and withdraw your silver blade as you hear the slump of the ghoul's body fall into the fields behind you.
I want to take the sword and just try to clean it off with my armband and put it back in my hilt. Did I ever pick up my other sword?
I will say you did.
All right,
you
cool.
did.
I'm sure you would have.
Yes, as you
That's
prepared to
sentimental.
bury the
Run all the way back. You run all the way back.
as you prepared to bury the body. As you pick up the sword and you clean it and you sheath it, your silver sword, back into its sheath. The woman comes running up to you. Oh, thank you so much.
No worries. You need to be careful around these parts. This is dangerous territory. Do you live around here?
I own this farm. It's never been dangerous before. But thank you, Witcher. I don't have too much coin. I do have a few potatoes back in the house. Is that okay to pay you with, or
Yes, that'll actually work. But I also want to ask you a question on top of this.
Oh, sure. I'm happy to help a Witcher. Thank you for saving my life.
Of course. Do you know any whereabouts of the Scoia'tael?
I know that they are to the south. And we're not to go into the woods in the south. It's too dangerous to say.
Is that closer to here?
This is the northern side of town. These are the northern woods. There's some monsters that come through here. I did hear of you don't think that this thing right here, this creature, this ghoulish like fiend, that was the one that was bothering a young Horace up at his family's farm with the sheep. That wasn't the thing. Was this the thing that was plaguing the sheep?
Yes.
Oh, praises be. I'm sure him and Letty will be so relieved to hear that their father did not die in vain, that you killed whatever that thing was that was terrorizing the sheep and the other people here. I swore I was so worried that my sweet dear Leo was going to get taken off in the night by some kind of monster as well.
Who is Leo?
He's just my old husband who doesn't do a lick of good. He's lazy. He sits in the house all day. He doesn't do anything. I'm the one out here farming all the time. So I thought, because of his laziness, some monster's going to come in and just snatch him in the middle of the night.
All right. You have okay. Do you have any protection for yourself and your husband, or does he?
I've got my hoe. I've got I've got some farming tools, and I'm sure he has a knife somewhere. We've got kitchen knives. I'm sure he's got a dagger somewhere.
You don't have.
Why? Do you think there's going to be more monsters?
Well, just for normal protection, because not just a ghoul. There could be anything that could be of trouble. Just
all right.
I would look into getting some type of training, some type of pet, or
a pit.
get some type of training for your sword, or
Sword training when I
I mean, a
appreciate
rake can't
it.
do much.
Agreed, a rake can't do much. That's why I depend on Olna and this town to keep us safe. I mean, we're just outside the walls, but apparently this great tree is supposed to protect us and whatnot. But I don't see how this great tree is protecting me from whatever this thing was that was chasing me and killing Horus and Letty's father. But here, let me go get your potatoes. Let me send you on your way, Witcher. Clearly, you have other business. You have slain this monster. I apologize for all the bad things I may have said about witches in the past. Let me go get your potatoes.
Thank you.
Above game, we stand this potato lady and her hoe.
So bad.
Toss a tater to your witcher.
We cut back.
A lady of taters.
Oh, valley of French fry.
We cut back to Neris's herbalist, a shop, as Neris comes around and they bring a beautiful ornate tea set with 4 cups and a large teapot. Yennefer, as soon as you notice that you walk back into the shop, right as Yaskir and Marilka have finished their private conversation, and Ciri, for the first time you turn and you see that, oh, Yennefer is walking back in from somewhere.
What did I miss?
Nothing.
There's tea
What did
now.
we miss?
Tea. I ran into Olna outside. She...
Honey tea. Would anyone else like some honey tea? Wonderful. This is a
great.
special blend that will not only refresh the senses, but also it's got a little special something in there myself.
I think I'd like to analyze what's in here as a fellow kind of potion maker slash mage.
Roll me 1d10 plus your alchemy.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I've already drunk mine, so if I die a horrible death,
Alchemy.
I'm definitely going to watch
If you don't-
that.
Suspiciously.
If you
smelled
don't
really
have
good.
If you don't have alchemy, just simply roll your crafting.
Crafting.
I'm easily plied with beverages.
Crafting is 7. All right. All right. That's 15.
With a 15, Yennefer, as you kind of smell the tea, you see that behind the notes of honey, there is a distinct, almost kind of nutty smell, and you notice this you recall this to be a specific kind of root that is known for its muscle relaxation and just kind of natural body relaxation and properties.
I think this is actually a little oversteeped. Everybody, let's
No,
turn
it's
this.
really good.
No, please,
Did you already sip?
Feel that? I feel loose. I feel like, ready to
I just
It
lay
is
it down and just look
ready
her
to
in the eyes.
take a nap or something.
Is that
What
mine
exactly
transfer?
did you put inside of this tea?
I see that you are a mage of some knowledge and source. So yes, it's a honey tea that has I grinded up in there just for you all, since I saw that you come into my shop and you come in with horrible wounds, exhaustion, pale, sweaty, wet from the rain, out of sorts. And so I thought, listen, these people clearly have been through something. Why not give them a little tip off the edge, a little shave off the edge of it for them? And so, yes, I put a little bit of hanger root into the tea, just to help relax the muscles, relax the mind. Not too much. I do see that there are children present, but just enough to aid in a medicinal type of way. But I'm happy to retract this gift.
Oh, no.
Thank you.
I quite appreciate
As
it.
you are with, as you said, you were with the Witcher, as by decree of Olna to all of us shopkeepers, anyone who is accompanying the Witcher and party, it is on the house, in that the tab will simply be picked up in the end. So please.
Every place in town.
That is what it has come to.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
I
kindly.
really do. How long do I have to be in this splint thing?
You see that Norillus looks over their nose, their glasses kind of looking down at your arm. Yes, the splint! With the 7 layers of honey salve. Yes, you will need to keep that in place for 1 full day. Then you must hear, I will give this to you as well. As you see, Neris picks up a basket and starts to put into a small glass jar Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Ah, yes, the remainder of your salve into this glass jar and some extra bandages and hands it to you. You can remove the splint after a day if you are feeling anxious, but then you must reapply the salve and rebandage the wound to ensure that it not only heals properly, but cleanly and efficiently.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I wrote it down, his little note. Just keep that with it.
Oh, that helps. Thank you, actually.
At this point in time, you hear the jingle of the shop bell behind you all as you see Nearest kind of look over their spectacles and at the door that is now opening as Geralt steps through.
Well, well.
Oh,
What
you
happened
missed
to
the
you?
tea. There's nothing for it.
I was just a ghoul.
Wait, there was another ghoul?
Yeah, just another ghoul that I'd take care of real
These
quick.
creatures, they keep appearing around the town.
Yes.
I
Met
thought this was supposed to be, like, safe. The town.
Apparently
Must
we've
be
been...
something to do with that.
Someone's been lying to us. I need to speak to Olna at some point soon.
Olna, I actually, I did run into her.
Oh. What did you talk about?
She wants to protect the city, but she wants to tap into this chaotic power that this tree has.
Oh, there's
And she
another
wants-
guest here. Let me go fetch you some more tea.
I think we'll
Do
be
you
alright.
have anything to
Thank
heal
you.
by chance? You are a herbalist, correct?
Yes.
May I ask if you have anything to heal on top of the tea? What?
What
You-
kind of healing
tea-
do you
the
need,
tea's-
Witcher?
I'll just
tea's
take some
actually-
water then.
I can
as
go
well-
get you some water.
As well
and
as some healing. To have some wounds that I need to like heal up and whatnot.
yes, let me go consult my books to make sure I remember how to heal witches. You have a unique metabolism, and your mutation allows for a certain type of salve that must be made. If you'll excuse me,
Thank
as
you.
Well,
so
she's
much for
gone.
your help. Nearest exit and retreat back into their shop/home.
Okay, now that she's gone, Olna wants to tap into this tree's chaos and basically get its power out and heal. There's immense chaos in there that she wants to utilize to. It almost seems maybe even
Sounds
weaponize.
like someone I know.
Oh,
Has she done anything to the tree yet?
I think they've made attempts. She might have cut into it and done a little bit of experimenting or something.
experimenting.
Apparently this sap holds, it's powerful, it's healing. And this tree protects the city.
Like how?
In what way?
It shields it. It shields the city with this magic. And only people who she wants to find the city will find it. It is essentially hidden from anyone else, from enemies, from foreign, just everybody.
It sounds like elven magic.
She just told you
It's
that
fancy
all
tree.
freely.
She
How are
did.
people still getting in for this wall?
She wants to exchange some of this healing properties of the tree in exchange for our help. Our help in her intentions in protecting her city.
What do we need this healing power tree for?
Yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good.
Yeah, no,
We-
we did the honey self thing.
Yeah, this is a good spot. This is the healing spot.
Yeah.
We don't.
I could use it. I think it would be a powerful thing to have.
I think that's a bad
Useful.
idea.
It is. But maybe we can perhaps commandeer this tree away from her.
She
and-
could be lying to you, just using us, our abilities, to get her power. If you consider that.
Yes. That's why I don't want her in complete control of it.
Well, we need more answers, and I think we'll get them from the Scoia'tael.
Yeah, last time I tried to make contact with them, Olna kind of blocked me.
You know, the Scoia'tael,
That's right.
but also remember she had this box in her study.
Mm.
Perhaps we can lure her out. We can have a dinner, and whoever's the most roguiest can go in there and perhaps steal it. We can open it up.
That sounds risky.
Okay.
You want to sneak into this woman's place and take the box that we don't know anything about.
You see the locked drawer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's probably guarded with magic. I might lose this arm again.
Then I would have to help.
You picked a lock before.
Sure did.
I may have some gifts in those areas as well.
What gifts?
All right.
Just for information gathering purposes.
You gonna talk her to death?
Completely innocent. No, I just meant that perhaps maybe Marilka and I should go together and combine our efforts in this espionage.
Geralt, would you like to present your findings from Letty's home to the group?
Oh, yeah.
It seems like an interesting, I guess, choice. But see, Geralt goes in his bag and he stabs the dagger on the desk.
Oh, on the counter?
Yeah, counter,
just the
yeah.
wooden counter? You
Yeah.
just stick it into this counter?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ah!
Where did you find that, Geralt?
it was in the house of the children.
Wait, where the little girl is? Where's the little girl?
Where's Letty?
She's missing.
What?
You didn't lead with that?
Did you see any tracks?
Do you think a brother ate her before
Well,
he came to see us?
There would have been.
Is she dead?
I don't know. I need to go back and figure this out.
This is Scoia'tael.
Of course it is.
Why would they leave it there?
Sounds like a threat to me.
I mean, this is very bad, but it's also quite convenient for us.
Probably a way to wager with Ona or anybody in town
This is
to
a
give them
message.
what they want. A message, correct, as well.
Pretty little girls make good hostages.
And if Olna tries to stop us from contacting the Scoia'tael, well, we'd say, well, we have to do this. It's because we're trying to find Letty. Good alibi for us.
we need to hear
Smart
the other
thinking.
side of the story anyway.
I think if I speak to Ona, if we go up there, let me speak to her again, we'll get answers.
Okay, but I mean, I think she likes me more. Like
Maybe.
most people.
Well, if it doesn't work, then maybe you could sing her a song or something.
You are a charmer.
You act like that hasn't been effective in the past when you know it has been.
Well, we were just at the bar and that didn't work out too good, didn't it?
That audience lacked refinement. It was over their head.
As our group of travelers continues their playful banter, thank you all so much for tipping us 2 more monsters.
Oh
my God!
Don't-
Let's count, shall we?
Hey, how much health did I restore?
Yeah, same.
Oh yes.
One stepped away.
Roll your recovery. We'll do this in the meantime.
Okay.
Add your recovery. Do a D10 roll plus your recovery stat. It should be your rec on the side of your.
It's a D10 plus your recovery.
Yes.
All right.
That's it.
All
that's
right.
good.
It's 17.
Yeah.
So
Disgusting. That's a 9.
I am back to full health.
Well,
Oh, 9 is
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Fine. I think. Should be okay. I
I'm
don't know.
glad you're okay. I was worried.
I'm glad you're not a werewolf.
How much health did you 2 recover?
I'm back to full.
I
You're back to full.
recovered 9, so
I recovered
9.
17 total.
Wow.
I don't remember the math I did. 9 plus 10. I guess 19.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. 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 Thank you for those 2 monsters.
No,
This is about
not
to get
thank you at all.
very
so much.
interesting.
Oh God.
Very, very interesting. Be horrible if another monster showed up. As the 5 of you continue your banter inside Neris's store, their herbalist shop, you suddenly hear screaming coming from the marketplace right outside this door.
But I'm so tired.
I walk out.
The screaming grows louder and
follow.
louder
I'll
as you
go
hear
out
the
there
clamoring
too.
breaking of pots, the turning over of barrels, the clamoring of Egmeld's, all of Egmeld's swords and shields and weaponry go clattering onto the ground as there seems to be a cacophony of chaos in the square of Darkney around this tree. You see almost emerging, you see this horrifying looking creature is now like rambling its way through town, looking around. It's this horrible, like, hunched over, like, terrifying looking monster with a long, disgusting tongue that is, like, just, down its throat and just kind of, like, lashing around as it continues to reach towards people that run past it.
May I look at it and scan to visibly see if I know any knowledge of this vile thing.
Yes, as you look at this creature, Geralt, you notice that it is none other than a grave hag. A terrifying necrophage that is much more powerful than ghouls. Some say it can command ghouls, as it rips its way through town. Its long, terrifying claws and tongue lashing out at all those running around it.
Nearest, you should close up for the day, I think.
What?
There's something going on outside. You should stay inside.
Great, please leave.
Wait,
Okay, bye.
Let's go.
I'm already outside with
As the
Geralt.
5 of you are pushed out of the shop, nearest, they lock the door. You see this bar go over the door as they quickly turn the curtains in.
Ah, a sense of self-preservation.
Unusual.
As the 5 of you stand in this town square, more and more people running and dashing, people falling on the ground. This grave hag you see, unfortunately, in your attempts to leave the store and not act quickly, you see that this grave hag is munching on this young man. It's got this young man's foot in its mouth and is trying to munch on the young man's foot, who's just screaming in pain as another individual tries to pull him away from the grave hag's grasp. You suddenly see an arrow go down to the ground as well.
Not again.
As you look up and you see 2 Scoia'tael agents standing on the rooftops.
I can't shoot.
oh, you're helping. I see. I'm yelling at the Scoia'tael.
They do not respond to you. One of them holds a bow and aims it at you, Geralt. And then quickly, without breaking a glance at you, turns and fires it near the grave hag. Luckily, it fires it so close to the grave hag, the arrow sticks in the pavement. The grave hag, terrified and startled by it, its long tongue and jaw releases its grasp on this young man's foot as his friend is able to pull him away. You are now battling 2 Scoia'tael and 1 grave hag. Let's everybody roll for initiative real quick, shall we?
It's 17.
It's a D10 plus your reflex.
Yes.
Yes.
The curse is
Mine's
broken.
also a 17.
Plus reflex, right?
Helped.
Okay.
What else did everyone roll?
15 for Marilka.
15 for Marilka.
16.
A 16 for Yennefer.
8
An 8
is great.
for Yaskier.
17.
17 for
Jinx.
Geralt. And a Sarah 17 for Siri.
All right.
Interesting. And then one more time. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Siri, you are the first to go. You see that this grave hag is closest in the vicinity to you on the ground, but you do notice that there are 2 Scoia'tael agents. So they are cloaked. They have these masks drawn up over their noses and covering their mouths, and you see that their hair is also tucked back into this like bandana-like protection. These 2 Scoia'tael appear more armed and armored than the previous ones you've encountered in this town before. You see that one of them has these piercing amber eyes, and you see the other one has these piercing green eyes. Those are the 2 things that stand out to you. What would you like to do?
I'm going to go straight for the creature.
All right.
All right. And I'm going to use 2 points of vigor, which are the last 2 that I have. And I am going to channel whatever power I have towards it directly.
Wonderful. Can you roll me 1d10 plus your willpower?
All right. My willpower. That's a 16.
With a 16, you are successful. Now roll me 2d6 for your damage.
6.
With a 6, Siri, you still feel a little weakened from the fight earlier, as you start to hesitate almost a little as you channel this force, knowing the last time you channeled this force, you tried to channel it indirectly into a being, but that didn't work out so well as it sent you flying backwards. So instead, you just stand there and you just decide to just do what you know works best. As you close your eyes, take a deep breath in, feel this power emanating from this center of your being, and you let out this horrific, terrifying screech, the scream that paralyzes this grave hag in its steps. You see that it's knocked back a bit, but it almost seems to be like moving slower towards you as it's now locked in this weird timescape. I will say yes, the four of you knew what Ciri was going to do as you saw her take a step forward. So you were able to ample cover your ears in the right amount of time. However,
know the drill.
Ciri doesn't know this, but the two Scoia'tael agents look down at her curiously. One of them squats and leans in and watches further for the time being. Next is Geralt. This Grave Hag is now stunned by Ciri's a scream at it. What would you like to do?
I see Geralt take out his silver sword as he runs to the Grave Hag, trying to cleave off its tongue.
Trying to cleave off its tongue. Wonderful. Roll me a d10 plus your swordsmanship.
It's a 7 plus 10, 17.
You are able to, yes, you take your silver sword and you come down as this Grave Hag is kind of stunned for a second, and as it slowly starts to move towards you, it doesn't really realize how fast you're moving at it while it's kind of been hit by this time ancient elven magic. As your sword comes down and cleanly like just cuts through this Grave Hag's like nasty green decaying tongue. Please roll me your damage.
13.
You see that as this tongue comes cleanly off, all this kind of black, disgusting necrophage blood starts to pour out of this creature's mouth and just kind of sputter onto the ground beneath you. You see that it is slightly shaken by this attack, but it is still going to give you one hell of a fight. In the meantime, Yennefer and Marilka, you have been given the gifts of alchemy. So I will now roll to see what you have received. Yennefer, you will receive a +3 to your willpower. So the next spell you cast, if you decide to cast one, you will receive a +3 to it.
Ooh.
And Marilka, you will receive a +3. Isn't that convenient to your reflex? So to anything, swordsmanship, dodge, melee, you name it. Thank you so much for those potions.
Thank you very much.
Next is the Grave Hag, being incredibly close to you.
Oh.
To who?
To you, Geralt. Having just attacked the Grave Hag, you are close in its grasp, so it's going to instead use its mouth that you have now made this wound to. It's now going to try and charge at you, trying to bite at your neck, your throat. Let's see. Yep. All right. Would you like to dodge?
Yes.
All right. Please roll me a d10 plus your dodge.
Do I not have dodge? Or is it
Should be,
reflex?
it should be dodge/escape, and if you do not have that ability,
Oh, I do it. There it is. Okay.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be a bad time.
Oh, it's exploding. That is 17 plus a 10, so 27.
You are going to have to beat an 18.
Oh no.
Geralt, as this Grave Hag comes charging towards you, you see that its mouth now, like, you know that Grave Hags have this poison that sits in their mouths, and that's what makes them so dangerous, not only their tongue, but also their jaw. As its maw, this wounded maw, comes charging at you, you are able to quickly just dodge out of the way and almost turn and counter it, throwing it further into the square as you narrowly miss its mouth. And now the Grave Hag falls, having kind of manipulated its own weight against it in your dodge as it stumbles into the middle of the square. You, on the right side of it, all of your friends, and the two Scoia'tael agents looking to the left of it.
You got this, everyone. Yes. Well, I don't know.
Thank you for your
Yennefer,
overwhelming confidence.
Yennefer, it is now your turn.
Do I have any vigor restored at all?
I will say you each get, because it wasn't a full rest.
Okay.
I will say you each get 2 vigor points restored.
Not me, right?
No.
Of course.
All right.
Because you were too busy fighting.
Yeah.
Who were the Scoia'tael again?
Scoia'tael are the elven gorilla-like
Or, I mean,
forces.
Where are they on the roof?
They are on the roof, kind of behind you. If you look over your left shoulder, you will see them standing on the tiles above you.
All right, and then the Grave Hag is like in front of me.
Yes.
I would like to cast a portal underneath the Scoia'tael, right in front of that Grave Hag.
This is going to be pretty impressive.
Wow.
How many vigor points do you have?
I have 3.
You're going to have to use all 3.
I'm going to use all
Worth
3 of
it.
them.
Wonderful. Roll me 1d10 plus your willpower.
Do not fail.
Failed.
You do have a +3 to it.
All right. 5 plus 3 to my willpower, so that would be an 8.
Oh, it's your spell casting, so it's add your spell casting ability, which you should have in your skills.
Right. Where is that? Oh, there it is. So 9 plus a 3 is 12 plus 5 would be 17.
The 17 is successful. Now roll me 3d6 to see how powerful this portal is.
All right. That is a 7 plus 6 is 13. It's been a long day. 13.
With a 13, you use the last, you harness the last of the chaos within you and the chaos around you to create this portal. As you are able to, as you pull open this portal beneath the Scoia'tael, you catch the one with the green eyes off guard, and immediately it is sucked through. However, the one with the amber eyes had its eyes on you to begin with, and so it was able to narrowly kind of pull itself out of this portal and is still standing on the roof around you. However, suddenly all 5 of you see as you said, where were you transporting? Right underneath?
Right in front of this.
Right in front of this Grave Hag. Suddenly this magical portal appears and comes shooting out of it because of the momentum of it falling through a portal beneath itself. Comes shooting out is this green-eyed Scoia'tael agent as its body comes in full-on collision with this Grave Hag. And they collide against each other and fall on the pavement.
Point an arrow to my Geralt one more time.
Ooh.
Rilka, it is your turn.
So I assume I can't use my bow right now.
You will still have a -1 to it for the next day, but your arm is feeling a little better.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
All right,
To the Grave Hag.
to the Grave Hag.
Right for that eye again.
Roll me your archery.
I don't know which die. Cocked. Okay. So 17 minus 1 is 16.
Nice.
With a 16, you draw your breath in, you pull this arrow back, still feeling the taut and the pull of your wounds kind of in these bandages. You don't want to pull too hard, you risking reopening the wounds on your arm. But you take that breath, you close your eyes, and you release this arrow, and it goes flying. The sudden appearance of the Scoia'tael has certainly thrown off this Grave Hag as it stands there, almost in complete shock, trying to collect its surroundings and to realize what all is happening as this arrow goes flying through the air and pierces directly into the right eye of this Grave Hag. As you see, it just kind of leches down and screeches as this black blood starts coming out of its eyes and coming out of its mouth onto the Scoia'tael's foot, as the Scoia'tael shrieks in pain as you see this acidic bubbling happening on the armor, the foot armor of the Scoia'tael agent.
Done.
13.
A 13.
Nice work.
Next is the Scoia'tael agent, the grounded Scoia'tael agent. You see this agent now feeling this rush of poison, this poisonous blood kind of seeping into their foot armor. They quickly kind of pull their foot back, and instead they take out a dagger and go directly for the throat. I have them roll against each other. As a Scoia'tael takes this dagger directly to the throat, this hag, all of its pain is suddenly its fight senses kick in as this Grave Hag instead just chomps into the hand of the wrist of this Scoia'tael agent as it came towards it, and you see the hand of this elf fall to the ground as all this mix of human blood, or elven blood, sorry, and disgusting Grave Hag blood now coming out of this Grave Hag's mouth as the green-eyed Scoia'tael agent just screeches and screams in pain as he sits down and is just writhing.
I want to scream towards him. I'm kind of lying because I don't have any more vigor. I will teleport you away if you tell us where that girl is.
You just hear him muttering in Elvish. He does not respond to you.
Damn
It is then the other Scoia'tael agent's turn. That Scoia'tael agent sees what you just did, Yennefer, and is not too happy that you just tried to throw them into battle. So they are going to, that agent tries to send an arrow your way.
Oh shit.
All right.
I want to dodge if I can.
Roll me 1d10 plus your dodge.
Right, 2 plus.
Ooh, actually, yeah. Do we have any rerolls?
We have 10 rerolls. Thank you for the
Use
reroll.
the heck out of those.
Oh my god. All right.
Let's turn that into a backflip.
Let's make that like an 8.
That's a 5. You can just
5
use one more.
plus 7. Oh god. Oh, you know what? No.
Cartwheel, maybe?
Could I do one more?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
yeah,
you
yeah.
can have up to 3.
All right, let's use the original one. That's an
Better.
8. So 7, 15.
With a 15, yes, you are able to. You suddenly your reflexes are just like these enhanced mage-like reflexes you have. Suddenly start to feel that this arrow is aimed your way. As you just almost do a sidestep. You just trust your instincts and step away as you see this arrow. Your hair gets brushed up into the air by the power and the force of this arrow as it comes flying into the ground and lands right next to you. You hear the elf behind you curse at you in Elvish as he begins to ready another arrow. Yes, Garrett, it's now your turn. You are seeing a cacophony on in this town square.
Am I close enough to the Scoia'tael that went through her portal to just kind of like get behind them and go under their arms and help pull them to safety?
You would have to. They're probably like a good 8 to 9 feet away from you, so you have to kind of run up and grab them.
So I'm going to run up, but I'm going to use the Elder Speech. I'm going to speak Elven to them while I scoop them up.
Oh.
And just be like, we're here to help. We're not trying to fight you. We've been trying to speak to your leader, Rashawn, again, but you keep attacking us. Let me get you to safety.
Roll me 1d10 plus your language.
Nice.
That exploded.
Explodes.
Oh, my accent is perfect. It's 15 plus 8, 23.
I will say with a 23, Yaskier, yes, you're able to quickly, as this Grave Hag is kind of now trying to grab on the arm to munch on this right hand of the Scoia'tael, distracted by its new meal. You're able to kind of quickly run up, hook your arms out underneath this elf and pull them back. As what exactly do you say to them?
Just that we want to speak to their leader. That we want to help. We want to cooperate.
You want to help? You see this as this elf speaks Elvish back to you. You want to help us. You want to help Rashawn.
Yes, I mean, I apologize. My friend Yennefer may have helped you with your bravery a bit, but we are on the same side.
You promise?
Yes, of course.
You suddenly feel like this tiny, like, hidden blade kind of go up against, like, the side of your stomach. If this is a trap set by Olna, I will kill you in this, right here, right now. The rest of you do not understand what is being said, as it is only Elvish back and forth. You promise?
Yes, I swear it. I swear it.
You want to help?
Mm-hmm. Tell your friend to stop shooting at my friends.
I'll try.
Everybody, back down. I think you've got a deal going.
What? Jester, what are you saying?
That's still a hag.
What are you
That's still a hag. That's still a hag.
You're trying to reason. We
Let's
just
deal with the hag.
exploded one of them. I don't think there's any reasoning. They
Let's
hate
argue
us.
about this later. Let's do hag together.
Okay.
Siri, it is now your turn.
All right.
Let's try it then.
What's the one up that's still up on the roof doing?
That Scoia'tael agent has another arrow lined up, is just focused on Yennefer. It's not very happy with Yennefer.
But it's not stopping, even though they're calling for truce.
That conversation is still happening when it's your turn.
It's happening right now.
All right, I'm gonna go for the hag, and I am going to charge towards it and give the last 2 of my vigor towards it.
All right.
And try to scream and see if maybe I do something cool.
Roll me your spell casting first, your willpower.
Okay, we're gonna re-roll that.
Is that a 1?
Yes.
Spell
That's
casting.
spell casting.
No, not on
Yes.
spell casting.
no.
consequences.
Wonderful. I will now roll. Still roll me your 2d6 to see how much damage this is going to deal. I will now roll my fumble table to see what happens.
No.
Oh no!
Oh no! Don't make that face in there.
How much damage was that?
8.
8. Wonderful. Ciri, you run up confidently, charging at this grave hag. And as you stand there, preparing to summon this ancient power within you, you feel a pulse again. Not a human-like pulse, but almost the pulse of some kind of magical essence, some kind of magical force, ancient, potent magical force. And almost it seems to harmonize with you.
It's the tree.
You feel that this, suddenly you turn and you feel that this tree's magic is pulsating with yours. And as you focus your energy and you close your eyes and you scream, something terrifying happens for the first time. This tree seems to amplify your magic, and unfortunately it amplifies it to a large amount of what you cannot even control. As you let out this screech, all of the windows, everything glass within a 2-meter radius suddenly explodes and breaks. Whoever is carrying potions and items on them, suddenly they shatter underneath the powerful sound wave of this blast. And not only does the glass destroy around you, no, Ciri, because you fumbled so poorly that I roll for you, you cause an explosion of energy to be sent out forwards. Not only are you sent back for 8 points of damage as you slam against a stone wall in Darkney Square, every single fighter on the ground around you, including the Grave Hag and the injured Scoia'tael agent, are suddenly flung back, flying against walls, knocked over tables, glass, stone fixtures, and the like. And everyone takes 8 damage as you feel your head, your limbs, your back, your legs being crushed against whatever crates and items you found your body now being collapsed up against the side of. The Scoia'tael at the top of the roof looks down in terror and simply runs.
Ciri!
There's something with the tree. There's something wrong.
You see that the Grave Hag has in fact been in this chaos. This Grave Hag was actually pushed back. Despite everyone else taking damage, this Grave Hag was pushed into a convenient place as everyone comes to their senses and comes to looking around, seeing the damage that has been done. And let it be known, not a leaf from the tree has fallen from this powerful blast. The great tree still stands unchanged. You look over and you see this Grave Hag has actually conveniently ended up where the knocked over weaponry and swords and blades of Egmeld's wares were. So you see that now piercing through several areas of this Grave Hag's bodies are these various bronze and steel swords, some axes, some tiny daggers.
Hey, Silva?
As you see, it's slowly trying to get up, but it's almost taking these daggers and these swords with them as it tries to grasp these human weapons and pull them out of itself.
Oh my god, it's made of swords now.
What have you done?
I've made a pincushion of this thing.
You see this black blood just starts to seep through every open wound of this Grave Hag now, just bathing these swords in this poisonous black ilk. Geralt, it is your turn.
All right. See Geralt run at the hag, still wielding his silver sword, as he attempts to. I want to use the silver sword, but as well as, if it's possible, to kick one of the swords that's already in the hag into the hag.
It's a very complex move, Geralt.
I've done a complex move before, and it worked out fine.
It's quite simple. You just give it a sort of stomp in the sword bit, and then a slash to follow up.
You could do them at the same time.
Oh,
You
yes.
could use like your elbow to knock one in. While
Oh, exactly.
You know?
Yes.
I will say you must roll your swordsmanship.
All right. So I'm gonna re-roll that. How many re-rolls?
We have 8. You can use as many as 3.
Okay. is exploding.
Nice.
Ooh.
You look so mad. We thought we do well today.
We've been doing
It's
very
a 9.
badly.
So
Yeah,
let's
she was
see.
ready to kill us today.
I know. 19, so 29.
With a 29, you are incredibly successful in not only kicking a blade, but also bringing your own silver sword down. Describe to me, since you rolled so impeccably well, please describe to me in great detail how this happens.
So you see Geralt, as soon as he gets to the hag, wield his silver sword, and as he's swinging the silver sword and is about to connect, he sort of kicks the other, with his left foot, kicks one of the blades that's already impaled into the hag and push it further in as the silver sword slashes into the hag.
You kick this sword that is located kind of near, it's located in the left thigh of this hag as your foot kind of makes contact with the sword, and yep, that sword that was slightly kind of in there is now, you hear this squish of like the sword being punctured all the way through until its hilt hits like the edge of the hag's thigh flesh. As then, yes, where were you aiming with your silver sword? Just into the heart, decapitated.
Well, what do you describe what it looks like? I don't remember.
It is this terrifying kind of bloated humanoid-like creature.
So I'm just gonna try to cleave his head off
You
then.
cleave its head off. Wonderful. Can you please roll me? I'm going to roll the sword damage, and can you please roll me your silver sword damage?
Okay.
So the blade that was in it. All right.
9, 10, 12.
With a 12, you cleanly just, like butter, you decapitate this grave hag's head clean off as its head goes rolling and tumbling onto the stones of Darkney Square. You see that the grave hag's body kind of shambles and just falls over with a thud, but also the clamoring of swords and daggers that are now around this creature, this necrophage's body. Yasker, you in the chaotic blast, not only were you sent backwards, but also your new Scoia'tael friend was also sent flying backwards, and you see, as you start to come to, you look over and see that this green-eyed Scoia'tael is kind of laying slumped over on the ground near where appears to be the kind of the edge of a well in the square.
Oh, I want to go over and see if they're all right.
You head over and you see that as you look at the Scoia'tael, although you only see kind of this small area of their face, just their eyes, you see that their skin is already just going completely white.
From blood loss.
From blood loss. You see that their hand is not only just like, not only see this elven blood kind of coming out of it, but you also see this terrifying poison that is now starting to spread up the arm of the Scoia'tael as this agent has kind of, in staggering moments, kind of pulled off this armor to inspect the wound, and it's not
All right,
looking good.
I want to tear off a part of one of my sleeve and try to make a sort of tourniquet for the top part of their arm.
Roll me 1d10 plus your first aid, and if you don't have first aid, it is your crafting.
I've seen this done before. I can fake it with an 8, or maybe I should use a reroll. No, that's a 1. That's a 1.
We get 3, right?
That's not the end of the card. We got this. Reroll time. Let's do it. There we go.
It's almost
8 plus 4, 12.
With a 12, you are able to, yes, for a second, you lose it in your mind for a moment, like, oh gosh, what do I do? But then it quickly comes to you, and you're able to, you rip off a beautiful piece of your ruffled shirt and this beautiful jacket you have.
Oh, this is silk.
And you create this tourniquet for this Scoia'tael agent.
All right, and then I want to see if I can try to bring them to Nereus's place.
Oh, you want to carry them?
Well, can they hobble with me?
I will say, because you were able to administer a good amount of first aid, you're able to pick them up, and they start to hobble with you.
All right.
And they say, wait, no, wait.
I'm taking you to someone who can heal you. I'm still speaking Elven to them.
Where's Mongrel?
Oh, is that your
Mongrel, where's Mongrel?
Was that your friend?
Yes.
They left. They ran away. But don't worry, we're not going to hurt you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to heal you.
I can't. I have to go. I must go back to Rashawn. Only Rashawn can heal us.
Are you serious? You don't want just like a little pick-me-up before you go? What if you die on the way?
I don't
I'd feel
trust
terrible.
the people of this town. The longer I stay here, the more injured I am. I know someone is bound to come kill me.
Well, the person I'm taking you to heal you is an elf. Well, a half-elf, but still, I mean, 50% is good, right? 50% is trustworthy. And it's better than dying in the street or on your way back in the woods. Please, just meet them, and if you don't trust them, then
Do you really
make your
want to
own
help
decision.
us?
Of course, I swore an oath.
You promise?
Yeah, I already did. We've been through this. You're bleeding. Oh, that is dripping. That is definitely dripping.
You see as this elf reaches into their pocket, they pull out this beautiful elven talisman to you.
Oh, I don't need payment, and if you are going to pay me,
No.
I prefer food and ale later.
If you really want to help us, take this. Go to Rashawn and speak with her immediately.
Okay.
The attack is coming.
Oh.
If you want to do something,
Oh, yes.
you must go now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll come as far as I can.
All right.
The four of you see this exchange right as Geralt has slain this Grave Hag. There is a terrifying stillness in Darkney Square. Nobody dares approach. But you do see Yaskir and this Scoia'tael agent talking in hushed whispers back and forth as you see the Scoia'tael agent pull out something and hand it to Yaskir, insisting that he take it.
What
going on?
is going on?
How did you manage that?
We have to. There's an attack coming, but
An attack.
yes, the Scoia'tael are going to attack. We need to take this to Rashawn.
This
Where-
guy doesn't look so good.
I tried to get him to do more for himself, but you know, people they just don't take care of themselves these days.
Did you ask her where Rashawn is?
We didn't really get to that, but
They're right here.
Right. Oh, are they still there?
You see the Scoia'tael just kind of looking at you all, refusing to engage, except for Yaskir.
I say in Elven to this person, where is Rashawn? How do we find them?
Rashawn, if you go outside of town,
To the south?
to the south, to the woods, you'll come across a cave. Within that cave are these old elven ruins. That is where Rashawn and the other Scoia'tael are held up, preparing, manifesting, and building.
And what is your name? So I can tell them who sent me and who was so brave.
My name is Vaymore. And don't worry, just tell Rashawn I returned to the mother. As
Oh.
you see Vaymore kind of turn and hobble over, and similar to the other Scoia'tael agent you encountered the other night, kind of kneels in front of the tree,
No.
whispers a few things, and then you just see them kind of almost punch themselves in the gut. It looks strange to the four of you, but Yaskir, you are the only one who knows that there is a hidden blade in that elf's wrist.
Yeah, just let them go. Let them go on their own terms.
As you see the elf kind of slowly collapse and leans against the side of the tree. As Vaymore closes his green eyes. And you can't see it underneath the mouth mask, but you have a sense that there is a slight smile and almost this peace that goes as Vaymore rests against the tree.
We should go.
We need to
Is
go.
everybody like okay? Because
No.
Are you okay?
Where's that herbalist?
That way.
I want to go onto the door. She closed the door, I'm assuming. Right?
The door is closed, the curtains are drawn, and the door is barred.
I do not think
You
we're
told this herbalist, you told Neras to protect themselves, and they gosh darn did.
Oh, shit.
Nearest! Hello, it's us again, the people who you helped earlier. Listen, we need a little bit more healing. We've got to make this quick, though.
Marilka, you still have that basket on you. You
Oh
find
yeah, I was supposed to use this for me, but I mean,
What is it?
it's salve. It's the healing salve that she put on my arm earlier. Does someone need it more than I do?
How are you all feeling?
I'm fine.
I'm okay.
Are you sure, Siri?
Yes.
I've been better, but
How are you, Yennefer?
I'll heal myself. Save that for yourself.
I mean, I'm okay. Do you need it?
Yaskir?
Oh, only my sense of self has been damaged by all of this. I'm in quite the moral conundrum. I also swore an oath to that elf, by the way, so we have to help them now.
You did
Sword
what?
elf.
Well, I said that we'd help. I said that we'd help.
Which we were trying to do anyway.
Yeah, so...
I guess.
All right, well, I'll take the basket, but I'll use 75% of it and give the rest to Yennefer.
Oh.
Actually, I'll make it half.
How generous!
I was like, 75%.
That's right.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
You're
I guess
welcome.
I'd apply it to myself.
So you apply it to yourself. You can both roll me 1d10 plus your recovery, but only half that.
Half of recovery?
Half of your... So roll your total
Oh,
recovery
jeez.
together, and then only half that. Reroll? You can use a reroll.
I think I'll
use
use
a
a
reroll,
reroll. Whatever, I'll take it.
Oh my god, I'm gonna use a reroll again.
Yeah, we need you.
Plus recovery, half of recovery.
Oh,
though.
definitely, I'm gonna use that one.
Wait, half of
So
7,
Punching the
3.5.
microphone.
So add it and then divide it.
Oh,
So
okay,
use
so
6.
that would be 6. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. 6.
6.
15 divided by 2.
We'll say that is 7.
Okay. 7.
As the two of you apply the healing salve, Yaskir, that talisman kind of almost starts to vibrate in your hands.
Is it supposed to do this?
I
What
don't
is
know.
it?
You're the one who grabbed it. What is it?
It's the talisman that Vaymor, the Scoia'tael, gave me. I'm supposed to show it to Rashawn, and that's how they don't shoot us on sight, I guess? I don't know.
Looks like it's ready to go home.
Yeah.
We-
Yeah.
Take a closer look at it. So just
We should keep moving while we do.
Right. Yeah,
As you
let's keep
continue to
going.
move, as you quickly move through the town, you notice that thankfully the chaos has almost masked your exit of Darkney, as the streets around the square are empty, but as you're able to make your way through, there is this chaotic cacophony of people coming out of their homes towards the edge of town, checking in. Is everything okay? What happened here? I heard there was a monster in the square. As you're able to narrowly dodge throughout the distracted people of Darkney and make your way towards the gates. The gates slowly open for you as the 5 of you exit the town of Darkney on the path into the southern woods. The woods where the Scoia'tael's elven hideout remains. As the 5 of you walk, who was holding the talisman? Yennefer, right?
was me
Yennefer, you
last.
start to feel this talisman still vibrating, and as you begin to walk, almost like a compass, it starts to almost turn slightly in your hand, leading you towards where the Scoia'tael and Rishan are currently preparing for battle. And that is where we will end tonight's episode, the penultimate episode of The Witcher RPG, right here on Hyper RPG. Thank you all so much for joining us. How will this be concluded? What choices will our heroes make next week in the decision of Darkney's fate? You will have to join us and find out. And I did notice that not only did we get a monster and a law of surprise at the very end there, I will hold on to those. So yes, you'll be starting out with a monster next week. So
Awesome.
have fun. And yes, I will invoke that law of surprise. I'm going to take note of it right after the show, and that law of surprise will also kick off next week's episode. So thank you all so much. We hit our goal. We hit our goal so well. Holy
Awesome.
cow.
Oh my goodness.
Over our goal. Thank you all so much. So
Thank
let's
you.
thank everybody who made tonight's show possible really quick. Hawk R&B,
Hey,
Peak
what's up,
1,
Hawk?
J Pistol, Peak 1, Sir Carlathan, Tharpy 23,
Tharpy.
The Gods, Keen 456, Kaylee's Roll of 3 Fund, Lord Talnak, Law of Threes, J Pistol, Law of Threes, Mel Pomeno, Kiyu Penguin, Demand 1198, Spaghetti and Cold Milk, Peak 1, Poon Poon 314, J Pistol, Peak 1, Eridinsk, Little Mouse That Jumps, Yaskir's Silk Jacket Fund,
Thank
Voltic
you.
Surge, Kiwi Penguin, apologies if I mispronounce your usernames, and Voltic Surge SA. Thank you all so much for making tonight's show possible and for giving us all those much needed rerolls, potions, flashbacks, law of surprises, and of course, monsters. So yes, please sure to get active in the chat. We'll be giving away a signed copy of the Witcher RPG from our Talasaurian Games. So be sure to get active. You all deserved it. And yes, once we hit our goal next week, you will have the chance to name a character in an upcoming Witcher RPG edition.
You should probably name it Sage.
Excuse me.
We'll see what they name it and who gets to name the NPC and how. So thank you all so much for joining us tonight. There are a ton of other amazing RPGs and shows right here on Hyper RPG. Tomorrow we've got Warhammer 40K's Grim Dark Dawn. It's always a fantastically tabletop adventure-y time. Grim Dark Dawn is. Naeem, who is fighting tomorrow night?
The Thousand Suns versus the Imperium, and there may be a guest.
There may be a guest on Grim Dark Dawn.
Yes.
So be sure to tune in tomorrow on Hyper RPG. We've got great stuff happening on Friday as well. Monday is Kolok 1991. If you didn't see holy cow, I watched Monday's episode. It was fantastic. And I can't wait to see what happens next week. Tuesday, we have...
D&DW.
D&DW,
Yeah,
yes,
I know.
apologies. It's the end of the night. Tuesdays are D&DW. And of course, join us next Wednesday right here at 6 p.m. on Hyper RPG for the final episode of our 4-part Witcher RPG series. Thank you all for making this show possible. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And until next Wednesday, keep adventuring and try to survive. Goodbye.